Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 665. Hopefully, you guys have had a great hump day. I've had a pretty good day myself. I've got a pleasure to introduce somebody I got to somewhat meet the other day at Mendo and the Mitten. Cousin Nikolai, how you doing, my friend? You want to tell us how you're doing and where they can find you?
Hello, my friends. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, the Eagle One Gardener. I am new to scene. Hi, my name is cousin Nikolai. I come from old country to help my cousin build YouTube studio in basement. Yes, my friends, it's true. I come because the black market cannabis industry is not so safe in old country, and cousin bring me to help him do behind scenes content for his video and production company here in southeastern Michigan. Yes, my friends, it's true. And I'm getting new to the scene. I'm newbie grower. That's right. I'm learning to grow like a pro from help of guys down at my local grow store. I have to give plug Hydro Pros, where I'm learning to grow like a pro. If you're watching, guys, big shout out to you, of course. Anyhow, I pick up tips and tricks along the way. And because my cousin has this like YouTube studio for his upcoming podcast, I have I have to learn how to work it. So he let me take over things here. And now people are asking me to be like, I don't know, it's like how all the cool kids say, it's like content creator, this thing, I don't know, you do on the gram. So I jump on the gram because the COVID, and I try to create things, and so that's what I'm doing here. And so you can find me on the Instagram as cousin Nikolai with an underscore in between. And also I have new YouTube channel. It's cousin Nikolai. I believe it has underscore as well, but I'm cousin Nikolai. And I'm like on Facebook, but mostly on the Instagram. And I'm learning to do some content and learning how to grow the cannabis. And because I'm very curious about it, and I'm kind of like old school, like nerd, how do you say, like, like cannabis weed nerd, I don't know. Anyhow, so along my travels, I like introduce people to the cannabis plant, specifically my neighbor Miss Cash. Yes, it's true, my friend. She is like 91. Is there, like, I'm sorry, am I leaving something up on screen for you? I'm sorry, I'm trying to learn. I hope that wasn't up on your screen. It must just be behind mine. I'm behind scenes. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, back to Miss K. So Miss K is like my 91-year-old neighbor here at the cousin's house. And she see the first year go recreational here in Michigan, us bring some plants here. Sorry, I smoked one a little bit too much before I came on. Anyhow, so we had to tell her about it. Do you know what this is, Miss K? This is legalized cannabis. And she's kind of has like a big garden of her own next door. And so she was like enamored by the plant. And so she started asking lots of questions. And I thought to myself, maybe I could get Miss K to grow a plant with me, and that would like be good for like a cannabis show. And that's where I got my idea for these Cousin Nikolai shows. So anyhow, sorry, I'm a bit long-winded because I'm nervous, but I will let you take over there for a minute. Anyhow, hi guys. Thank you. I'm your cousin Nikolai, cannabis cousin.
I love the long-winded guests, to be honest with you. I truly, truly do. I love the long-winded guests, and I love the guests that what we call around here kind of squirrel, easily kind of stray from the subject a little bit and take you down a little other rabbit hole, something you may not have, thought to ask or whatever. I think the genuineness of the person brings out a great interview. So I enjoy the long-winded guests and the people who squirrel. So cheers and welcome, my friend. So, I got to give you some props. I after I kind of bumped into you at Mendo in the Michigan, or Mendo in the Mitten, rather, I gave you some huge props. The following shows there. One for just being an outright nice guy. Because sometimes when you're in the moment and you're smoking, you don't necessarily take and consider what's going on around you and everything. And my initial bump into you was during Michael Fang's Mendo explanation or history of Mendo, the Mendo breath there. And I was sitting there trying to get it down. See, I'm kind of used to doing this aspect of it. So I'm not used to necessarily getting out there and covering, things in the field, if you will. I'm usually when I go to the events, I'm just there to have fun. But this time around, I kind of went a little bit in a different angle. And at one point I was trying to record and I was my arms getting tired and I kind of scooted over next to you and fumbled around and set my phone down. And I didn't even think the fact that we were recording the same footage, trying to do the same thing. And then at some point you could have went, "Hey, buddy, come on." You know what I mean? Give me a break here, but you didn't. You were super cool about it. You gave me a little space to set up. You didn't say nothing. In fact, you were really super cool about it. And I can't thank you enough for being really cool. And then after the fact, after Mr. Fang posted up both of our recordings there, I went over to your channel and watched some of your videos and then, looked at your footage to my footage and I was like, oh, geez, I gotta step my game up. Your footage and everything you had done was so crisp and clear and beautiful and well done. And I didn't even have the sense to wipe off my camera lens or anything. So, you know, shout out to you for being a hell of a guy and putting out some quality content because that's one thing that I much admire about a lot of these other content creators is the quality of what they're doing. And so far, everything that I've seen of yours, it has been very high quality and well produced. So cheers to you, my friend, for starting out on a good foot.
Wow. My friend, thank you very much for that most excellent endorsement and just yes, kudos. Thank you. If you brought it all back to my memory when you said you're speaking of the Michael Fang and his Mendo breath talk, which was most excellent indeed. I will have to check out your video too. Perhaps you have a different perspective that will, tickle my fancy, as they say in your country. Anyhow, so yes, I remembered you asking me politely if this was cool, and I'm like so used to like tunnel vision, like I just do it because I kind of shy sometimes, believe it or not, that I hide behind camera and and I just focus in on what I'm doing and just maybe perhaps I just got the better spot than you do because cousin Nikolai was a bit of a hobbyist, like racetrack, um, to, amateur photographer back in old country, like the rally racing and the TT motorcycle, things like that. So I sometimes get elbowed by the pros, with them big lenses, and they try to like knock you in head with lens and that. So I'm accustomed to throwing things back, mostly just looks. That usually does it anyhow. But yes, thank you for the most excellent kudos. Yes, that was first time out of the bunker, editing bunker in quite some time. And the our good guy cannabis cousin, the Mr. Fungi 420 on the Instagram, he reached out to your cousin Nikolai and he gave me personal invitation to I like to give everybody big shout outs. They give me hats, so I like to use them. Anyhow, yes, the Big Cloud Farms here it's Jones, Michigan. That's right. It was Jones, Michigan, and it's the west part of the Mitten State, Great Lakes Mitten State. It's like over here, guys. If you look over here, I'm like over here. They're over here. Anyhow, you guys look on map, you'll know what I'm talking about. Again, I smoked something again. So yes, I was there first time getting out, getting kind of my wits about me, and it was most excellent. I learned so much there, cousins. It's true. Yes, not only did the Mr. Michael Fang of the Gage Green Group and genetics designer, that's right, give his most excellent talk about the Mendo birth. I learned so much about that and the the legacy of that genetic that is apparently the backbone um, of so many of the genetics that are going around circulating with all these wacky names. I just can't keep up with the names. It's actually, it's quite frustrating if you ask me. But anyhow, that's another topic when we specifically talk about the cannabis. But going back to the Big Cloud Farms, they're going to have another get together on the 4th of July. Will you be at that one, cousin? Did you not hear me? The eagle.
Just a little bit of a delay there, my friend. Sorry about that. They are having another event there, the second and third. I'm gonna have to skip out on that one, but I hope to make the one in August, to be honest with you. I believe there's one later in mid-August. I hope to catch that one.
Yes, yes, that's my understanding. There will be one in August, but so anyhow, I try to get out more and I will try to circulate more because it was quite much fun. And especially meeting different people. And look, I had no idea what you did, and forgive me, I did not have much time, cousin, to go and do my research and due diligence. I did make some notes. It's mostly chicken scratch, scribble scrabble, guys, but and I was going to transfer, just in case you ask me some specific questions and that. But anyhow, I did tune in to the episode where you had the Mendo Dope Boys. Yes, yes, them. Yeah, they were at the Big Cloud Farms, Mendo and the Mitten, and I have to say, I hadn't known about them. And one of our other fellow cannabis cousins out here in the Mitten State of Great Lakes, in the northern part, he is the Dave Morgan of Morganja Farms. Yes, it's true. He's up there and he raises the hogs that he feeds his cannabis, the trimmings to. But anyhow, he has been corresponding to me and I see his postings about these Mendo Dope Boys. So I looked into them because I'm trying to keep up with like all the cool kids now that I'm on the gram. And I see that they're, like this hip hop band that like these raps about, the cannabis. And then I listen to their lyrics a little bit more, and I puff one, and I get behind the music, as they say, a little bit more. And I really like them. So when I heard they were going to be at the Mendo and the Mitten, I got quite excited because not only were they there, but the Dave Morgan of Morganja Farms, and I got to see him and the Mr. Fun Guy, and he gave this talk about the the mushroom, the psilocybin, and how they're treating people now with that, right? They're having much success with healing people, not only from the mental issues, but like physical ailments as well. It's good for, I'm hearing, for like the Parkinson's and the Alzheimer's for the elderly, and just people with like mood swings and crankiness, like your cousin Nikolai. And so anyhow, I had been curious about that because, as I told you, I'm curious about cannabis, and this seems to be like the next thing for plant-based medicines. And I'm trying to get. Ooh, I think I just got shocked. I'm sorry. Hold on. Ooh, no, I'm so. Anyhow, sorry about that. It, something got. I don't know what that was, but anyhow. So yeah, I'm trying to get hip to it all, guys. And so yeah, I learned about the microdosing. You guys know about that? That's another topic some other time, but that's kind of cool too. I like that. So yeah, anyhow, what the hell was it? What were we saying? Go ahead, cousin, take over for now. I'm getting a bit of a cotton mouth now. Hold on, stand by.
Kind of continue down the path of the festival there. Yeah, there was a lot of fun things that happened there. That's one of the things that I appreciate about what Michigan's doing, especially Big Clouds. It's because I actually the first taste that we got of like a camping event here in Michigan was up in Luzerne at the Bigfoot event, was the first one that I know of, and that was a couple years ago. And they, for one reason or another, didn't have it this year. So I was glad that Big Farms there, Big Cloud Farms there took off and grabbed the rein and took off with it, because I love the camping events, man. There's so it there, there's so much fun to be had during the day, but when you at night after things die down and everybody's ready to, relax a little bit, sit by the fire, it's fucking, that's when the fun happens. And in this case, a little bit of the microdosing medicine fire circle there at the event. It was super fun to made for a long weekend, but a great time while I was down there nonetheless. So I did have a lot of fun while I was hanging out down there. And I happened to run into the Morgan Wana. I knew I messed that up and met them. And soon as they told me about feeding their cannabis waste, I guess, if you will, the leaves and stuff to their pigs and barbecue them, I was like, oh, oh, I gotta try some of that barbecue. It just one of those things, I guess. I appreciated them meeting them as well.
Yes, indeed. He is true, like OG caregiver, the Morganja Farms, the Dave Morgan of Morganja Farms. That's right. It's okay, cousin. I spell the ganja wrong all the time, and he corrects me. And I bet he laughs when he sees this, that because he knows I like misspell it all the time with a G instead of a J. But no, he is true. Like if you had a representation, at least here in Michigan, of somebody that has been in the caregiver scene or just really doing it, and especially in the area that he is in the northern Michigan, which is quite a bit much more, how you say, rural, it's remote. And like and so it's harder to do what you do anywhere because you just have less anyhow. So it's not quite like the city down here in the burbs where I am. But so yes, I find the Dave Morganja Farms on the social media outlets. It's not only is it for like just looking at for like cool cars and hot chicks or hot guys, whatever you're into, it's like you can actually build the relationships that are not just make believe. They manifest as something nice, especially with the cannabis plant, because that is what truly brings a lot of us from all walks of life together. And that's what's so neat about them festivals, because you have so many different people from different walks of life coming together for one purpose, the plant, to either, even if no matter their knowledge base or how much. I was with the Dave Morgan of Morganja Farms, in fact, at his table, because yes, he feeds all of his um, farm raised hogs, pigs, whatever you call them. I don't know, the oink oinks. And he feeds them all his scraps, like the male plants. He just found some of his male plants just like a week ago. He came out and they had the beans on them or whatever you say, the little things, the round things, the balls. And so he had to get rid of them and he gave them to the hogs. So they're feeding their endocannabinoid system. And so that's of course going to translate into feeding you. So I have seen him on the gram and the Facebook for many months now, and I finally get to go to one of these festivals where he is providing such a wonderful service and quality product, because he's there and there's how many vendors, maybe 3 4, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5, but it's important for all of them to be there and help feed the people, because your cousin Nikolai spent the night there and it was so last minute. I did not pack proper cooler. And so I had to rely on the vendors. Anyhow, so I really enjoyed eating there with Dave Morgan. I got sidetracked because when I was there, I was getting to a point, there was somebody brand new that was new to the cannabis, and he was, being kind of instructed or just shared some knowledge by the Dave Morgan about his organically grown cannabis and his, cannabis and fed hogs and this dabbing and just different things. And this kid, not kid, I call everybody kid, but he was young adult man, and he was curious about the dabbing. Oh, my cameras are turning. I have multiple cameras on. I was doing some recording and they're turning off on me. Anyhow, sorry guys. I get like you say, squirrel. Where's the squirrel? Anyhow, so yes, he take his first dab. It's like on one of my reels. It's like, it was just like impromptu. And I was like, I just said, hey, this is your first like dab. Hey, do you mind if I like record? It would be like cool content, man. And he was like, sure. So I did, and it turned out to be like one of my better reels, cousins. And anyhow, it was nice just to see him take it, and the Dave Morgan was helping him, and it was just a neat experience, to see that, and it kind of reminded me my first time, finally smoking the cannabis. And anyhow, that's all right. There, whoa, how's that little story for you?
Well, that's where we usually start things off. That's usually where we get rolling here is when was the first time? When either did you see the plant or did you consume the plant?
Okay, I will get back to notes because I did watch a little bit of your Michael Fang interview to prep for this, but they're a little bit all over the place. Okay, so yes. Okay, so as I say, I come from old country and I have family here in the different parts of the states that are united here in the Detroit, Michigan area, and then on the coast of West over there near the Sierra Nevada mountains. And so, what, excuse me, while I throw up in my mouth just a little bit. Excuse me. um, yes, hold on, I need to drink water. I should turn down microphone so it's not like ASMR. Anyhow, okay, so yes, I would come back and visit, so I was this time, I was always, there was not, in fact, I don't think I didn't come across I knew about the cannabis from visiting cousins over here as I would grow up. And then and and then as I got older, I'd come in high school, but I had older brother who would come in with us. We would all travel together and visit, and I think he was doing it then because he was like 6 years older than me. And so at this time, like I just remember, like I think how I go by grade levels, and how are you saying here? It was like fourth or fifth grade, and Big Brother told me, Stavositsa says, Nikolai, look, you're going out with those guys. They're going to want to smoke that grass, that pot. If I catch you smoking that grass or pot before the age of 16, I will beat ass. And if you saw my brother Stevositsa and you see me, he's quite much bigger bone than I am. So he carried much validity with his words. So I stayed away from the cannabis, but I had known about it, I had smelt it coming out of the bedrooms of the older cousins when, our parents would go away, and we were there in the Nevada mountains, Sierra, so there was gambling. So they would all go out to gamble, and there was like ski resorts. They were a bit. I wouldn't say they were like rich family, but they were certainly more the privileged family, especially coming from old country. Anyhow, I'd get to use cousins' hand-me-down skis and go skiing. But anyhow, so as I grew older, I came back the one time in the winter time to go skiing, and I was now fast forward. I was like, I believe it. I would think it was like 19. Yes, it was 19. I will date myself. It's 1986, and your cousin Nikolai is 16 years old. That's right. And there's big party of cousins, high school friends. So now we were like 16 and like all the girl and all the parties. And I just couldn't wait to get there from old country and have fun. And now I'm 16. So, cousin Nikolai's looking for a little bit of anything fun, like big brother will not give ass beating if so I'm looking forward to this party and just enjoying whatever, you know, we go motorcycle riding the earlier that day, and one of the other kids from the school, he's got a real cool house, like overlooks the lake, and the parents are away, probably gambling, and he has party. And so I just remember going there feeling very awkward as usual. And there's like some other awkward kid sitting there too. And we were like watching that MTV that was real popular back then, back before they turned it into all them silly shows. But so yeah, at one point everybody was upstairs and I was thinking to myself, it's not fun. It's like, I feel left out. And so I think at one point cousin came down and he said, cousin, come on up here. So of course I ran upstairs and they had let me into the room and they were playing the music and everybody was in there, and they were smoking and they had this big bong. It was like one of them big silly tall ones where you like had to stand on like the bed or a stool to get up on it. Anyhow, they said, let's give cousin Nikolai bong hits. And I like, bong hits. What is this thing? This test tube? What is this thing? I thought you had like cigarette thing. And so they're like, no, hey, let's make cousin Nikolai smoke bong hits. So apparently they were talking about, and I had no knowledge at the time of this, but I will make a reference now, and I'm sure most of you veterans of the cannabis will know, but yeah, they make mention of this county of Humboldt's, and that somebody's brother is like working with the growers or something, and he has the some skunk, I don't know number. I just remember, so they say skunk, right? True skunk, I don't know. But so they pierced the bag because it was like sealed or something special, like vacuum sealed. And I just remember it go piff, just a little bit, and then all of a sudden, the whole room smelled like I only described like fresh cut grass, but something different. Anyhow, so then they pack it into the bong, and I'm so excited, because first off, I've been waiting, wondering about the cannabis. And at this point, I feel so uncomfortable at the party. I pretty much probably would have done anything, which is not good. But anyhow, so I climb up onto like bed and I get up and I like, get the bong. And I know this now because like bongs are my favorite. And you know how like with something that tall, you like by the time you get the smoke up there, you're out of breath, right? And then you have to get your breath again. And then you have to reclaim this, like take this, and by that time the smoke is like, how you say, like um stale, stagnant, oxidized, I don't know, it just doesn't have, it's sharp, right? I know this now, I describe this now because I'm seasoned better of the smoking. And so yeah, I take the secondary smoke bong hit, whatever, and just cough terribly, right? And they think that's funny. And so they pack another one and it proceeds to go on like that 3 times. I just remember after third time I said no more, I tap out. And but anyhow, so then the real fun begins because I hadn't smoked before. And and looking back on it, that was very high potent, very high quality cannabis, because as they say, cannabis um, is a hallucinogen at times, a sort of, the full tunnel vision. So then we leave party because whatever, it's time to go, party's over. And so then we have to walk through the woods because we're up there in the mountains of Sierras, and there's like golf course or something. So we make it to the golf courses and we end up at the casino. There's like big hotel casino right there, near the lake. And so we go in there because it's like 12:30 or something close, and there's little game, how do you say arcade? Yes, arcade, where you know, put coins in and play video games, like whatever they would call them back then. And so we go in there because that's where all the tourists are. That's what they say anyhow. But anyhow, so we get there, and by this time, your cousin Nikolai has full tunnel vision, and everybody is laughing at me, and they're kind of like pushing me in that because they're laughing at the way I'm walking. Because apparently, I kept saying, "It feels like I'm walking on clouds." And are we walking on clouds? Because I had full tunnel vision, and it was dark. And until we got to the casino, you walk in, and like the doors open up, and it's just like bing, 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 bing. Like, hold on, I will try to make. I have some I don't know. It's like I don't know. I have some sound effects I was gonna try to push, but I don't have a proper one. Anyhow, so like the doors open up and it's full tunnel vision and all the casino lights and it's like sensory overload. And yeah, I'm walking on my tippy toes the whole time. That's why I felt like I was walking on clouds. So we make it through to the video game area or to the video game area. And and of course, your cousin Nikolai doesn't have proper coinage with him. So I'm not able to play video games. My cousins give me few quarters, but pretty much after that, I'm on my own and they're carrying on. And again, I feel left out. So I wandered off. That's right. I wandered off into the main part of the casino. And of course, we are underage and that is frowned upon. And I again had the tunnel vision and I was just going with the bells and whistles that I saw or heard, I believe. But I just remember at one point, I felt like roller coaster ride, right? Topsy turvy, and decided to sit down right there. And luckily, there was a nice big planter with one of them trees with the palms of leaves, and yeah, so I think I may have went to sleep. I don't know. But at one point somebody was tapping me on shoulder and the tapping then turned into straight up grabbing me by my collar and it was security and they started to ask me questions and then I had a little bit of PTSD from old country and then I get that look on my face which isn't good. And so they took me into the room with all the cameras and started to grill me questions. And I didn't want to say a word. Like I basically didn't want them to hear my accent. I thought I would be in big trouble. And so they asked me my name, and I should have made up one of your names, like Matt. But of course, I said Nikolai, and that was it. They said, who are, you know, anyhow, so I pretty much had to tell them that I was there with my cousins and give some names and that everybody was down in the video game room and that we were not staying at a hotel, that we were, I guess, from locals. So at that point, they rounded everybody out and no big deal. They kicked us out, right? But everybody was now pissed off. It's your cousin Nikolai, but I feel like as though they were all responsible for it anyways. So that is my first experience with the cannabis. We go back, we make it home. I don't really much remember much after that. We had this long walk home in dark and they were pissed off. And like usual, I just trudge ahead because they're not used to hiking like your cousin Nikolai back then. And we make it home, I go to sleep. And that's it. I wake up, nice sunny day, go skiing. Okay. That was it. Wow. Brought back to believe it was a flashback.
I love it. I love it. It's a great, great first story there. Chad was definitely digging it as well. Uh yeah. People multiple accounts saying how much they love to meet good people like yourself here on the show. So
Oh, you're
so
here.
where did it go from there? Was you a fan right off the bat or did you take a
So,
break? I mean, where did cannabis go from there?
so I, yes, so I go back to old country, you know, after spending a week or two here. And then That's it. It's not much come across. We drink. That's what we do. We drink. We smoke cigarettes and fight. Anyhow, but just kidding. But that's usually what happens when you're drinking. You know, and then the car rides. But anyhow, so yes, I get to but I'm always curious about the cannabis because um the older cousin that was my brother's devil seats' age, th- they were involved with the cannabis industry. And so when we would come back again the next year, there would be some more of that around. And I got a hold of that summer one of the High Times magazines from back then. And I believe it would have been, I believe the Jack Herrera was on the cover or so. I just remember coming across the Jack Herrera after that, the Advocate, and shortly after in college times, because I get that High Times magazine, and I anytime I find that magazine, and then of course the Playboys, and I would try to get and take back with me. But anyhow, fast forward to the college days. So that's when things turned around for your cousin Nikolai, because the family sponsored me and I was able to come for the college in the central coast of California's, and stay with the cousin in there and go to the junior college there to get my feet wet, as grandmama would say, and see how things go. So, but at that time is when all the fun started, of course. And there was a lot of cannabis, a lot of, I believe, the Marlboro cigarettes, a lot of the, what kind of beer were it? Like Michelob Dry, I believe. I think that was like the cool thing to be drinking. And then I did not like that too much. Anyhow, so going back to cannabis, I just remember a lot of fights at the parties, and then one of the roommates was, he had the hookup, so every month he would go to other he must go to one of those other counties, and he would come back with it, right? And you would have to make order, lickety split, because it would be gone within 3 to 5 days out of the little apartment areas that we lived in. But anyhow, so yes, I'd get what I could get, and I usually could only afford maybe I guess today it'd be like what, an eighth, usually an eighth. And you'd be really lucky if it was green and smelled good. But a lot of the times, I just remember them laughing because you would unpack and it looked like they had smuggled it in a driveline shaft or a wheel or something. And, back then, all that compacted stuff. But I don't know, smoke got you, it did the trick, as they say. But so there was, like, I wasn't, say, connoisseur or anything, you just get what you get. But I started to smoke that more than I drank, and I found that that was much better when you wanted to talk to the girls, because then I could actually, you know if I wasn't too stoned. But anyhow, I wouldn't be I liked it better than drinking. So I had another friend that had um I don't, it's like this new, it saw it in High Times magazine. It was this device, maybe you guys remember. It was it had little lights. It was like a little mini aquarium. You could grow like one plant. Oh, geez, I remember photo something. Anyhow, it was like miniature. I bet you some
Photo tribe. The good
Yeah,
old
right?
photo tribe.
Is that it? That sounds about right, cousin. That's right. Yeah, one of those. So he had one of those. But and I just remember always saying, when's it gonna be done? When's it gonna be done? And he was telling me, nah, man, it takes like 3 years. And I so in 3 years, I mean 3 months, 3 months, 3 years, 3 months. And so anyhow, when he did get it and it was done, it was such small little buds, but he never tried again. So but that was the first time I saw anybody grow the plant, like actually see the plant. I outside of a before it was in bag, right? Okay, so then that was that that was fun time. Oh, yes, but I have a good story. Yeah, I wrote some notes down so I would have things to talk about. And because I, well, I don't like to, I just do. I ramble on, and sometimes, like you say, like squirrel, I'll go in different directions. So my scribble scrabble here, try to keep it on topic for your listeners. Um, so I told you,
So
see, go ahead, jump in, please.
everybody's loving this so far, by the way. Again, I told you that earlier. But
What
so back to the Phototron. I
yeah,
think the first time that I met somebody that was actually growing in one of those were the like first person that made me or tried to make me be more of a connoisseur. Cause I was like there, right there with you. Like when more, when's it done? And they're like, no, man, slow down. That was the shit you could only buy by grams. That cat would only sell it by the gram. And if you tried to like buy too much of it, he would always get nervous, like you know what I mean. He couldn't replace it, or you know what I mean. It was no man, slow down. Yeah, so I can definitely relate to your story.
yes, when you only have little bits, you do not want to part with it, especially. But yes, the growing, I had no appreciate. I mean, I did not understand, no appreciation for the process, and but I certainly did like to smoke it. Um, but certainly, as the more I smoked it, the more I would come across different types, and then you hear different names about the Thai stick. I think I was hearing that back in the magazine, pretty much from the time I smoked it. And the more as I got older and involved in it, I would hear all the different lingo and some of the different strains of the time, and the and then of course from the Cheech and Chong movies, the Acapulco Gold. But anyhow, so yeah, that's why I kind of like to get off topic, but yes, that's why I like the land races or the old school strains like the Jack Harris and the hazes. Now it's like all these fruity names, different names. I can't keep up. I need to do research. But anyhow, let's go back to college. I have this list I must check off. I have a bit of the OCD. And so, yeah, so I told you I visited when I was 16, the hotel, casino, tunnel vision. Okay, so, oh, yes, also, yes, I forgot. Oh, this go back to 16. Let's go back. Let's rewind it. We'll go back because I had other story because I had other cousins here in the city of Motors, right? In the mitten state of the Great Lakes. That's right. I would come back and visit those cousins as well. So your cousin Nikolai had very broad eye openers or perspectives from the West Coast, and I guess the here in the getting ready near the East Coast, Midwest. What did you say here? But it's quite a bit different here in the city of Motors than it is up there in the mountains of Sierras. And so your cousin Nikolai, um, he was into the smoking, that one winter, and then came back the previous summer and spent the summer with the cousins here in the Detroit area. And I do mean Detroit, the proper area, old school neighborhoods where all the family lived. Um, and it was such good times back then because they would have big block parties. You did not have all this angst. I mean, there was problems, but there wasn't, and I don't know, it just wasn't the same. It just seemed like such good times. Your cousin Nikolai come from remote areas and visit up in the mountain, no cities, but to come to the city and everybody's doing stuff down there by the river and the ball games, and my cousins here are hooked up. It was just so much fun. the queen of dairies, you know, to go get what you call the sauce serve, you know, the ice cream. And but anyhow, I reminisce. So yeah, so one night we're going to party. And of course, I don't really like to drink too much. I will, but it's like it's so hard to get buzz. You have to drink so much because they buy cheap beer. I prefer to steal grandmama's vodka, and then but you can't fill up with water, she catches on. So anyhow, so yeah, so I encourage one of the cousin's friends that is questionable in his behaviors, and I enlist him to, how you say, score some of the and I was trying to do it all sly to him, like, so I didn't like out myself. And I was like, hey man, like yeah, so you like partying, right? You're drinking, and you ever do you ever smoke any? Can you smoke? And before I could say, he was what? Well, you want a cigarette? It was like, no, like one of them funny ones, you know, like wacky tobacco. Oh, reefer. And he knew what was up, and he was like, oh, hey. And it was like he was going to tell. I was like, no, 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 don't tell everybody. Shh, shh, because I want, you know, I didn't want to get, I didn't know who'd be cool if I smoke and get paranoid. It'd be really problem. Um, but so anyhow, this guy, he score, he get it for me, and then we go to this party, right? And it's so by the time I don't know, I go to the party, and I'm like, where's this guy? Like, you know, we don't have phones, none of that shit. Right? You know, it's like waiting. It's like sun smoke signals. I don't know, listen for sound of exhaust coming down the street, then you know he's nearby. Um, and so finally show up, and it's like wrapped in you know what it was at that point. It must have been like that like cigarette wrap package. And they have it all sealed. You don't even know what you get, trying to get it open. And I'm at this party, right? And I was like, so did he give you papers? Do you have papers? And no. So I remember from like one of cousin's friends, they make like pipe out of tin can, you know, smash, make, poke holes, right? And anyhow, so I get beer can. I go into the. It's like big process because then I got to go ask for. What do you want to drink now for, cousin? I think I'm thirsty. I just need beer, right? So I get the can, I go into the bathroom and I dump it out, right? And rinsing it out. And like people are knocking on the door. What's taking so long? I'm like, hold on, I've got accident. Um, and then so I'm like making the tin can, right? I'm getting ready. So by this time they're pounding. So I have to leave. I have to get whatever I'm poking it with. I'll put it away, and I like leave the bathroom and like waiting, you know. And then yeah, so then I sneak back into the bathroom. Is that my beard? I keep, oh, you're gonna have all this terrible audio. I keep going up to it. Give you some
I
ASMR.
don't hear it.
Oh, maybe it's well,
Zoom cancels out a lot of that bullshit, to be
well,
honest with you.
that's good because it's going to be the kids that like the ASMR. It's like scratching on a record. Anyhow, so what was I saying? I forget now. It was
He
funny.
was telling about smoking out of
Oh,
a
the
can.
can. Yes, the pipe can. Yes, the pipe can. That's right. Yeah, so I sneak back into bathroom, right? It's like third time I sneak in. So the second time I get the can out, right? I get the stuff out, pick out all the seeds. It's terrible. It's like, is it even grass? You know, it is because I see the seeds. That's the only reason I knew it was so brown, right? So how the kids say these days, swag, 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 swag. I don't know. It's crap. And so
Swag.
yeah, that's his swag. Yes, swag. I thought I was onto it. So so yes, so third time I go back because I don't know where to go. I can't go outside. Then like, where do you go? I don't know. It's like in the city, somebody else's. There's like real small. The houses are small. The neighborhoods are real back. There's always somebody's dog, right? It's like I'm trying not to bring attention to myself. The house smells like cigarettes, anyways. Fuck it. So I go and I do it, man. I'm I'm so excited, right? So I do it, and it's so harsh, right? I fill up the can, and they're knocking on the door, and I get so nervous that I fucking cough. And then I can't stop coughing because it's so harsh. And then and so because I was trying to like hold it in the blowout window, turn on fan, and then like make stinky in my pants and like spray air freshener or something, right? And no. So so at this point, somebody unlocked the door. You know how you can just uh, get into them, no problem with somebody smart. And one of the tough guys, he got in, and of course they smell it, or actually they see me with the can, and before they could smell the cannabis, they think I'm smoking crack cocaine or something. One of the girls is, your cousin's smoking crack. I was like, no, it's it's weed. Yeah, no, it's weed. And at that point, they're like, what the, like my cousin's like pissed that I'm now smoking weed in these people's houses because not too many people smoked, apparently. So, right? They're drinkers. But so, yeah, that was pretty much it. And oh no, that wasn't it. That's right. Good thing I put on list. Do we have more time? Do we? Oh, that's right. Your show goes to like 4:20 in the morning. Crazy. Anyhow, so so of course everybody's mad at me. And at that point, I was like, you guys buzzkill, I must leave. And they said you can't leave. You don't know where you're at. And I didn't care. I left. And they were right. I didn't know where I was at. I thought I was only like 3 blocks from cousin's house, but apparently it was 3 blocks after you drove like 3 miles into the other section of city past the cemetery and the other main drag. So everything looked same to me, and the street name was the same, but it was like I said, maybe not 3 miles, but it seemed like it when I started walking. And I was going the wrong direction anyways when they were coming to look for me. And it was quite late. Well, it was beginning to get late because it was dark, of course, but there were some street lights on, and I happened by some fellows that were playing basketball in one of the parks there late. And I must have caught their attention. I don't know why. But um, they proceeded to ask me questions, and one of them was quite aggressive. Um, but I explained to them that I'm cousin Nikolai. I come from the old country, and I'm visiting one of my cousins. And they kicked me out of party because I was smoking weed. And suddenly, the aggressive guy was no longer aggressive, and they invited me to play basketball. It's true, my friends. So we went over to the park bench. They happened to have some papers. I gave them the rest of this bit of swag that they rolled up, and then we all partook. It was such most excellent time. And then that's right about time when we were just ready to go play basketball that my cousin and all his friends showed up, and were quite upset. They had been looking for me for quite some time, and that I had wandered off. And so again, I had to leave, and everybody was mad at me. So that was my second experience with the cannabis, like it's around the 16, 17 years old age. Okay, so yeah, okay. I'll take break for a minute and quench my palate.
You tell a good story, my friend. You tell a good story.
Oh, hold on. Thank you, my friend.
I can't. I have yet to smack this down somewhere, but I'm going to be honored to smack this down somewhere.
Looky. How did you get that? Did I
I
hand
don't.
you that?
You may have. You may have. But
I'm so
I
happy
was
you have it.
stoked to get it. I'm
Oh,
happy I got it, to be honest.
look at
I'm a
that.
huge sticker fan or slap fan.
All
So
right.
I'm honored, brother. Cheers.
That's right. If you had the original version where I was pre-puberty, cousin Nikolai, before I grew out this most excellent beard, you could get these you if you could I maybe the mugs are still on my website swag page. I have maybe not changed the design on the mugs. I believe there is only, hold on, stand by. I will let you in on a little secret. Do you guys want to see my studio? Do you? Do you think
Sure.
your guests want
Yes.
to see behind scenes with cousin Nikolai?
Absolutely.
Let's see this. Hold on.
Absolutely.
This would be good time. Perhaps let's go to let's see, camera 3. Here you go. This is behind scenes with your cousin Nikolai. Hi.
Very jealous.
You
Oh
like this?
yeah.
You like my
That
cousin's
is
studio? This is I helped him
super
build this,
quality.
guys. Yeah, that's right. We even have other camera. I will show you. Maybe I'll make sure. Do we have the top down? Hold on. Let me go back to 1 while I sort things out and do the test. I must make sure the things are going. Oh, yes. So yes, I can go back to the camera 3, which is truly my top down camera. So I can do my product reviews. I can showcase some things. Oh, I can knock things down. That didn't fall. All right. Um, we forgot to start the show officially with the clapboard. I even wrote your name, Eagle Gardens, talking shit with Eagle, cousin Nikolai, 62222. Oh, I must go back to camera 1. Sorry, it's what happens when you do these switcher. Forgot that we forgot to do switcher, cousin, or the clapboard. Let's go, action. We're actually doing the show now. We can go live now, cousin. Just kidding. But anyhow, so I give you back behind scenes. I'll tell you a little bit about the studio now that I'm into that. Oh, that's camera. That's top down camera. Let's go back to camera 2. That's behind scenes. Then over here, if camera 3 is still working, I hope it is. Nope. Oh, so nope. So I have other GoPro that shows tight shot of this little tent that I have over here, guys. This is where I'm doing some of my beginning growing with some of the companies that have started to sponsor my little newbie grow show. And that's right. I'm, like I said in the beginning, I'm learning to grow like a pro. And in fact, let me go back to the main microphone. You can hear me there. I'll take down the podcast. You can hear the sounds a little bit different now, but I'm going to get up here and I have to stretch for a minute. I feel like I have ants and pants. I'm going to try to turn on my
Right
other
on.
GoPro over here, guys. Let's see. Let's go. Hold on, stand by.
That's
There we go,
awesome.
guys. There you go. This is my little product
That's
review.
my someday scenario right there.
Say that your Sunday scenario. I missed that, cousin. Say again.
My someday scenario. Yeah,
Someday.
I can't wait to hopefully someday
You
have a
will, my
setup
friend.
like that. I'm
You will.
jealous.
You
Jealous.
will. You will. When the day comes, I will help you, my friend. I will help you. Yes, it's been a long time in making for my cousin. This is we'll switch camera. So let's go. I must be running out of batteries. We go back to 1. Let's go back to 1. One of my cameras is dying. Let me switch. So yeah, that was the studio, guys. And so I do some I'm just starting to get into it, like growing and getting these different companies that, like the truncheon nutrient meters and pH pins. It's pretty much anything that I find that's like professional that I'll use, that it's recommended to me. I'll reach out to company and see if they have affiliate program. And then I have this website. I can show you my website real quick if you like to. I wonder if that works.
Somebody said it. Blue Kiss says that's the KGB view.
I like you, I
uh,
like you. That's right. So if we were to go to, how do we do this? I don't know how to work all this yet. So I have to, I'll put you down here. I'll do that. Oh, where did you, oh man, I will try this, try this. Where did it go? Oh, here it is, guys. Stand by. So we have that. And then we can go to, let's see if it works. It worked. Looky, looky, looky. Okay, so that's my new website, guys. And that's so I've got like supplies and different things. So anyhow, so that's what I'm doing there. Let me go back to camera one because you don't want to see my website this whole time. We go back to camera one. There we are. Okay, it's good. All right, yeah. So wait, I have to hold on, stand by. I must fix one other thing here on the screen because I'm getting confused. There we go. Okay. I have teleprompter. I can look right into camera and see picture of you, cousin. Um, anyhow, so yeah, this is my little cousin's YouTube studio that he's getting ready to launch his cannabis evangelist podcast, where he will be bringing on people that have stories of the healing plant. It's true, my friends. What is his tagline? It's let me read it. Oh, it's yeah, spreading the truth of the healing plant through education and testimonials of the healed. Can I get an amen? Anyhow, so yes, that's his little brand that he's been working on, and he has spent some time building this out, and he wanted me to help him, and I do behind scenes content for him, and some of his cannabis clients asked me to do some um, content behind scenes, and so I have to learn how to work all this to help him with his podcast. So this is just like test run, but I'm really not allowed to show you what the set really looks like without the green screen. So stay tuned for his podcast, or maybe if I get big sponsor and monetize, he will see the validity in what I'm doing and allow me to have like full access privilege in his little fancy studio here. Anyhow, that's what I tell him is like, you don't have to be so like, everything. Anyhow, I think he thinks I'm a bit silly, whatever.
No, no. And I will
Anyhow,
give you that amen. I will give you that amen. Because there is a lot of power of healing in this plant, to be honest with you. I've said it for a long time, a very long time, that, the cannabis plant or the cannabis as itself is a powerful medicine. There's a lot of things that can be derived from it and be great medicine. But I think the most powerful part of cannabis as a medicine is the cultivation side, to be honest with you. You know, that there's a huge healing power in growing the plant that not only there's just something about it. It kind of heals the soul. And as you learn more and more about the plant organics, you tend to learn more and more about yourself. You know what I mean? It's kind of a parallel journey and a very powerful one. And if it's your medicine at the end of that, there's something very strong about just when you're in that time of need and you're sick or handicap or whatever, and you can't, one of the most crippling things about an illness or an injury is just having to the realization of saying I can't. You know what I mean? That is, I when I raise my kids, that in my opinion, it's one of the ugliest things you can say. You know what I mean? I can't. That's so untrue. You can do anything. You just don't want to, or you don't want to learn to, or you don't want to put the effort into it. But to say I can't, in most cases, is 100% wrong. And when you're in that situation and you're used to being able to provide for yourself, and you're in a situation where you have to reflect and really say, well, I can't. But if you can, produce a medicine that is already working for you and you do it yourself, now you have an I can. And I can, just saying it kind of just puts a chill, uplifting feeling as you say it. So there's something very powerful about the cultivation side.
it's true, my friend. Absolutely. The what you speak of, the healing properties of growing the plant, are just the peacefulness of it. It's what many people describe when they speak of gardening, right? A lot of people like to garden. The Miss K, for example, is next door, and it is true. A body in state of perpetual motion is a body that will sustain itself. It will keep up with, it will try to keep up with what you're trying to do, right? Just like it will do what you put into it, right? It will give you back that. And so if you leave a, how you say, sedentary life where you sit around all the time, then those things take their toll on your body as well. So yes, the Miss K, going back to that, this is testament to her youthfulness and the longevity of her life, because I believe she is now 91 years old. I have been coming back to cousin's house here for past 15 years and have lived here now 3 years straight. And I have watched this woman who took care of her husband who was stroke victim, and so she took care of him, cooking and cleaning all the way until the time he passed. Most of her, most until just probably 7, 8, 9, I don't know, years ago. But anyhow, she's out. My point, she's out from the time she gets up, has breakfast. She's in her garden. She has 2 lots, and we have quite big lots here in this area. We are here in Michigan, and she takes care of them because she has many of the perennials, and there's lots of weeds. She tackles it section by section, and in fact, I have been recording her for the past couple of years here and there for my content that I am slowly releasing. I don't know, I have a vault of content, but I was just filming her yesterday because she called your cousin Nikolai in state of distress just this past weekend because her rider motor had stopped working. She had high centered on the rock and it busted the blade or something. And last year she high centered on rock. I had to go get floor jack and jack up and help her. And so she's so cute. She calls me and you can tell she's upset. And she's, hi neighbor. And I ask what's wrong and she tell me. I go over there. But anyhow, why am I saying all this? Oh, that's right. So, oh, that's right. Because she's taking care of the yard so well always, right? And she's so upset that she can't finish cutting her grass because the storms are coming, right? And she has a routine. It's my point. Is this is her routine. It's like, and so she wants to go. I take her to a neighbor that fixes the mower. He works, has truck. She knows where to go. So I take her there. But that's when I asked her if she wanted to grow another cannabis plant with me this year, because last year she thought it was too much work because she did so many videos. Me first year during COVID lockdowns when I was just starting to learn how to grow. Um, and I haven't released those. You would have to go back to my YouTube channel and find the first 4 videos. I think I stopped posting after the 4th video when I gave her plant that year and we named it Tatiana, and she grew it. But there was quite a bit, it was quite a bit of work because every time we did something, I would film the content. And I was trying to be real cool with all these different cameras. And because my cousin was like gone up on all these, when COVID, when they came with the unlockings of the COVID, he went back to production for the big automotive companies. And so he was gone. And so I got a hold of all the GoPros and the different cameras. And I was like trying to be like full-time filmmaker. I like took these YouTube course. Anyways, I ramble again. Anyhow, so I believe I turned Miss K off to the whole process of it. And anyhow, so this year when I, because I kind of had the upper hand because I was helping her and giving her a ride. And I said, hey, did you see my babies? I brought out the babies. And she was asking me and got all excited. And I said, and I have one for you too. And she said, I don't think so. And I was like, why? And she's like, it's a lot of work. I have a lot to do around. I was like, it's no work. It's no trouble at all for me, Miss K, to bring it right over. It's a little 5-gallon in the air bottom bag that I've now got pseudo sponsorship. And they said, give me good deal on the air bottom bags. If you guys know about the air, sorry, cousin, I will have to get plug, shameless plug. The air bottom bags. Do you know about the air bottom bags yourself? If you don't, please go out to the gram, check out their page. They're like, the air pots, the smart pots, the fabric pots, but it's different type material that allows for more, how do you say, the root, when you know the what do they call it when the root exposes in the plant, aerates the root, aeration? I don't know. Anyhow, the air pruning, that's
Air
it.
prune.
Air pruning. See, I know. I'm learning to grow like a pro, guys, just like you guys. Anyhow, so what was I saying? Oh yeah. So Miss K, yeah, the air bottom bag. I have a nice little one. I got two, just one for me and one for her. And we're gonna name them together and we're gonna grow tandemly. Just one plant, like I believe they are the same genetics too. If I did not screw it up, I'm a little bit lost of track right now because I've tried to take on too much. Was starting my first indoor grow a little late, and it was so late it gets getting hot in basement. So I said, well, I'm not going to continue the indoor grow intense and fight the how you say VPD, the variable pressure deficits, right? And so I take them outside. I harden them a bit, for a week. Oops, oops. Okay, show's over. I gotta go. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, I'll take this down now too. All right. That's right. That was like visual element piece for you. I don't know. Cousin left it there. I didn't want to touch it. Now he's gonna know I was down here recording with you and ask me questions and make sure that I was using the green screen.
It's
Okay,
not going to
so
be a
let's.
Step Brothers incident, is it?
Yeah. Yes.
You see the movie Step Brothers where
I have
he
seen the
knows by the
like.
drumsticks.
Right. Yes, that's like I love the Pharaoh of Wills, Will Ferrell. Yes, I love that. That movie, and I must have watched Old School like 100 times. It's like favorite. Anyhow, yeah, these Step Brothers, yes, that's funny. That yes, totally. Like, yes, that's pretty much me and we're same age. And anyhow, we're pretty much like the same, but different. Anyhow, so I said that again. What was I doing with? So did I? Let me check my checklist. But we told the 60. Oh, college story.
If I remember right, you were telling me about the neighbor and her
Oh yeah,
new pot there.
yeah. So Miss
Huh?
K's gonna get the air bottom bag pot. Okay, yeah, and we're gonna grow cannabis. Oh, we're going back to circle. Let's circle it back. Let's reel it back in. The squirrel's gone now, and I'm here. Um, you were saying how it was therapeutic to grow, and I made a reference to the gardening and Miss K being so youthful because that's what she does every day, and that's part of her routine, and that keeps her in a perpetual state of motion and active. um and so when you start to grow something more specifically, like roses, I use that as a reference for like the mainstream because I am trying to really, in my circle of network here amongst family and some of the friends of the family that I now circulate with. And now that my beard has grown out so much, and sometimes I have shirts that say like cannabis references, that I feel, oops, I feel as though that I need to try to help break the stigmas, especially in my personal circles and the way I feel when I know the naysayers are frowning upon me. And rather than give them those old looks of past, I choose to find some inner peace that I have gained through, as you said, growing the plant. It's right. As you take on growing something specifically and you learn about it, again, about roses, there's specific ways to grow the best roses. You can't just put it in the ground. You can, and you will get a rose, but you won't get the optimal rose or the show winning, or, and that's the same with cannabis, right? We know a lot of, I'm speaking for the people, and at least on my what I'm trying to do with my content is speak to the newbies like me that are curious about cannabis, and then hopefully have useful information for the veterans too, just because like a I like the techie stuff, and I try to find latest greatest stuff, and I always ask questions of people that are smarter or more involved than me. So, but yes, going back to growing the plant, it is quite therapeutic. And yes, today I was quite honestly, here's a good example. Am I still sweaty? I was going to change. I was going to freshen up. Trust me, if you're here, you would like me to freshen up, because I had busy day. I've been creating reel after reel for my cannabis cousin, the real greenhouse guru. If you're watching, cousin, big shout out to you out there on the coast of West. I just helped him do some content for the building these greenhouses here in Michigan. It was quite cool to see. And that's what I like, because I'm curious about cannabis, and the more people I meet, like you, cousin, like, I remember you sitting there with the Berg 313 and the Roach at the table, right? You were sitting there in that little hut. I saw you, and you give me the nod. You saw me. I was like squirrel going back and forth, like I'm going now. But anyhow, let's go back to what we were just saying. So I was getting lost again. But yeah, so growing the plant and learning all that, it's yes. Oh, today I was quite busy, hustle bustle. In fact, I can't stay until 4 in the morning because I have to. Well, it's like snack time for me at like midnight. I usually have milk and cookies, and then I have editing, and I try to jam out my editing before 2 in the morning and go to bed. And then I wake up quite early and I do some hashtagging and write the comment and then I post. Um, so I was really trying to stay on the schedule because I'm trying to really smash it, as the greenhouse guru says, and go get it, go cousin, let's go. And so I'm going and going. And I was all stressed out, dude, to trying to turn this all on again, right? And my cousin was upstairs, and I'm trying to kind of like be quiet about it, because if I fumble through it, then he starts coming down and asking questions. But he's like, "Hey, what are you doing down there?" I was like, "I'm just checking everything, making sure like the batteries are all on." And it's like been a minute since we've been here, cousin, just in case you get one of your busy Zoom calls and you need to like make big wheel and deal. And so he leave me alone. Um, and and so yeah, I get things set up and I'm all stressed out because it wasn't working. It was, you remember I gave you an email. I couldn't log in on this new laptop, and there's different logins, and I didn't want to ask cousin. And so yeah, so then I like actually typed it all out, what you sent me, the ID, and it didn't work. So then I panicked, and I get really worked up. Yeah, I just got some traumas from the past, the childhood, so and it's nothing like nothing real serious, but trigger points that make you say bad words or want not to do it. Like, why did I want to do this? Anyhow, so I have to go out and check the plants, right? I have to go out because it's been hot, and then you got to check in the morning, you have to check at night, right? Because if you don't, like I did yesterday, I came out and one of the girls, Miss K's in particular, because she's in such small pot, it dried out real quick, and she wasn't praying anymore, she was sad. So yeah, so I was rushing around to do the watering today, and I came back in and I was quite stressed. That's what I was saying. I was quite stressed out until I went and did the watering. And I was there, and I had to wait for the water buckets to fill up, and I slow water and I checked the plants for the aphids and the thrips and the different creepy crawlies. Um, so by the time I'm done doing that, which is half hour, 40 minutes, um, I'm no longer thinking about why I was so stressed out. I can still smell myself, so I know I don't have time for shower. But anyhow, so yes, therapeutic indeed, my friend, and that's what I'm trying to do is anybody that is curious about cannabis, I will share my stories. Sometimes I'll bring a plant with me. Last summer, I was riding the bike around and I put one of the babies on the back. I kind of sacrificed her because she got a bit wind whipped and that, but I thought it was important to take her downtown. And I would just, if people would be like, is that weed or is that a pot plant? And I would say, yes. Do you know about cannabis? And I even have, hold on. Oh, looky. I even have these little informational little things that talk about cannabis. It's like, do you guys want to see top down camera again? Oh, wait, I think it turned off. Let me get it prepped before I try this. I might as well try the studio. It gives me good practice, and then maybe it makes it interesting. See, oh wait, let me go. It's working, guys. You ready? You guys want to see it? Of course you do. There it is.
We do, we do. And they had been dropping the link to your channel
Oh,
in the
have you?
chat. So hopefully they do, and it is in the description. Hopefully they do follow along with your journeys and your uploads.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you if yeah, that'd be very nice. I think I'm doing something unique. I try to do something different. I try not anyhow. I'm really into this. I didn't know it would be a thing, this content creation. I mean, I heard about people doing things on YouTube, but it was just a way for me to mostly branch out and learn about cannabis. But where else can you find I mean, the internet, of course, the Google searches, but like you see so many different growers on Instagram. I see you have some tents behind you, and then you get to see some of those commercial growers with their big warehouses, and some of them are better than others, or just, some of them are big and small. It's just, and if you're into the cannabis like me, I now, after all these years, I really am into it, and it became legal here. And so now there's so much information around and different people trying different things. So yeah, I'm doing the top down camera for too long. Let me just talk about this. So yes, the cannabis 101, the dosing medical marijuana, the cannabinoids and terpenes. So yes, these are like little charts. I find them like on Amazon or something, that maybe I have descriptions, but it talks about the minor cannabinoids, the major cannabinoids, the terpenes, different things. So yes, I carry these around in my little backpack, and I try to have serious conversations about the cannabis with whoever wants to talk to me and listen. So that's one thing. So yeah, that's it. I think I ended that enough for that conversation. We were talking about the healing plant and therapy and stuff. So yeah, that's what my cousin's trying to do on his podcast. Is he's met an, a retired nurse from on the social medias, and she had an X-ray from having her back fused, and the X-ray is quite horrifying indeed. So she had her back fused, so they have to um, make quite large incision in your back and then in your front too, to go in both ways and put in the mechanics. So it's quite hard for me to look at X-rays like that. But so I see these posting in my cousin, so I start to follow her too in her journey. And apparently, um, she was born with yeah, how do you congenital scoliosis, and later in life, pretty much had to retire from the nursing because her back was finally so bad. She went through school with the braces, to straight is terrible. Coming, with the full halo and like you could imagine, her story, it brings tear to eye. And so because I talked to her about this, because she would be good. She's going to be good guest for a podcast, because she discovered the CBD. So for 15 years after the surgery, she addicted to the opiates, right? The pain pills, right? And she discovered the CBD because she has service dogs, big Dobermans, to help her, aided her in her walking or stuff. And one of them had one of the growths of cancer on the snout, and she do her research, right? Even in she's telling me she look up in Cornell University, and the doctor Raphael McCollum, the Israeli doctor, he's the grandfather of the cannabis research in Israel, I believe. I've been studying up on him. So she do and find these studies, and it makes sense to her. She trusted enough to give the CBD a try on the pet of hers, and like many stories you may have heard, the growth comes off and the dog continues its life and passes away, not, maybe year after of old age. So at that point, she is so addicted to the opiates that they are no longer working, right? They aren't working at the level that they used to, and she's suffering the side effects of that. And she knows better from being a nurse, so she finds this product of CBD. I will not make mention of names, so I'm trying not to be blatant about that sort of like plugging stuff. But she finds a specific brand that's high quality. The specific being that it's high quality CBD ratio, like the concentration levels of the cannabinoids in there are anyhow stronger strength, right? It's pure, more pure. It's higher content, percentage wise, I believe is what she says. So she takes it, and so long story short, she gets her self off the opiates, and she is managing her pain with and these are very high doses of CBD, the expensive bottles that are strong milligrams. But she tells your cousin Nikolai, you know how I know it works, Nikolai? Because my pain is in my bones. And she shows x-ray, and these screws are in her vertebrae. And it's no doubt that she's a testimonial. And now later in life, through the CBD and learning about it, now she has begun to occasionally smoke it. I believe she likes to try sometimes the THC edibles, but mostly CBD. And now, as you probably know, that there is now new products coming with 4-to-1 CBG to CBD ratios, and they're finding out that the CBG cannabinoid molecule is actually the precursor to all of them, and much great benefits as well. And she has shared some of these products that she is now networking with, and having story after story of people discovering the products that she is sharing with people along with her story. And they're quite amazing. And there are many of these stories that I'm sure your listeners have heard of, the Charlotte's Web CBD, that story, there's all sorts of them. But we can see that the plant helps the Parkinson's, and that we cannot make claims that it heals, right? Because I'm starting to find out you have to be careful what you say on these recordings, cousins, because you can't make claims, because nothing is FDA approved but these vaccines. But anyhow, it's okay for pharma, but not for the plants. So I will just leave it with that bit of facetious sarcasm. But yeah, so plant-based medicine, and my butt hurts, so I have to stand up. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know. What do we want to segue? I have some other notes. We can segue into something else. I don't know. It's 1:15. What else? What else do you? I have more, but I think it would take us back too far.
Well, oh, it's up to you. I feel like I told you I got all night. You're the one. You're the one, my friend, that's got a schedule. I'm on schedule. So far, I'm on schedule, my friend. But it's up to you. I mean, there's a lot of things I could take you down the roads of. First and foremost, I'd like to give you a shout out for always supporting Tommy there at the Detroit Nutrients Company there. Great dude right there. I've had him on the show as well. And his water only organics, good shit. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you, supporting him, supporting the community in a lot of ways you do. But my question for you, my friend, is that earlier on you commented about a younger Nikolai with his beard not so mature there. And I couldn't help but wonder, I've got this theory on awesome beards like yourselves there. And I think it deals with organics. It seems like every person that I run across that have that nice big full beard there is deep into organics at one point or another. I actually asked that at the guy. I was getting a key made at the auto place the other day, and he's sitting there, and I'm like, I checked out. He's sitting there. He's got a big full beard like that. I'm like, I'm willing to bet you're an organics guy, huh? He's it's funny. It's I didn't say anything about marijuana or anything, and he was like, yeah, I don't smoke, and I'm like, you're an organics guy.
You mean so you mean like organics, like like vegan, or like eating raw fruits and
No,
vegetables,
just
like,
the
or growing
well, that could
organically,
have a part of it.
or
Just
grow
interested in organics, or eating organics, but organic somewhere down the line. It seems like the people that have a common thread of some type of interest in the organics seem to be able to have that big bushy beard to where I see other people with the beards that isn't quite as full that, just
I
seem to
never
be
thought I
more
could
salt
grow one.
guys. I think, sorry.
No, no, yeah, I understand what you're alluding to, is that maybe it's the hippie, the hippie reference, the that's not quite my thing. Um, I never thought I could grow such a magnificent beard, and I was never allowed to because I was most of my life with mate, and they would never allow your cousin Nikolai to get full. So I never knew I could grow such a thick and robust full beard. And I make reference to that's what I was going to show you when I started getting all silly, is I make reference to if I had the second camera on, I could do type down. But this, when cousin Nikolai come from old country just a few years ago, I did not have this magnificent beard. No, I was doing business in the commercial sector, and I look quite different, my friend. I wore a suit. Um, anyhow, with the money changers, as they say. And so the COVID lockdowns, and the kind of the reason, I'll open up to you guys, because your cousin Nikolai, I should let you know, I'm a bit of a lover and a fighter. I have multi ethnicities, and um, my heritage here from different cultures. And so I have a little bit of this strong, the Russian, Ukrainian, Serbian, the Slavic side of your cousin Nikolai is very stern and strong and disciplined, but the great aunts and the grandmothers on the other side of the family, the grandmother on the other side of the family here was Greek. So they are quite accustomed to a lot of loving and a lot of harmony in the family. So I'm a bit of a romantic, and I'll admit to you guys, my heart was broken back in old country, and that was part of the reason I came here. So when I did come, I vowed that I would not shave beard until I have mate again. So that's what you get. And yeah, I call it pre-puberty cousin Nikolai, wherever that cup went. This is pre-puberty cousin Nikolai before he grew out this beard. Anyhow, it's like joke. Try to make funny talk. All right, so yeah, there you have it. But yeah, my heart is broken. I'm just getting to the point where I can laugh at myself and tell you, because I know any of us, most people understand. This is my description. As much time as you put into a relationship is as much time as it takes to get over. And I am nearing the end of that, of both that cycles. So anyhow, I digress. So what else would you like to know about your cousin
Well,
Nikolai?
I'm grateful that your palms aren't as hairy as your beard.
Oh, me too, cousin. It's a, it's a good thing. Never mind. I won't go there. Stop. Good thing I caught myself.
Cheers, brother. Just kidding.
Yes, the rosy palm, right?
So,
But
I mean, you said when you come here and started growing, I mean, I guess the better question would be, at what point did cannabis become medical for you? I mean, at one point, I think we all start out recreationally and think there's something there, but at one point, I think it does kind of click that it is a medicine. When was that point for you?
probably in my mid 20s, I by college, when I left college, go back to work, I was everyday cannabis user. I'm in California. I was with the cool kids trying to learn to surf. And so it's lifestyle out there, guys, right? It's a bit different. It's the westernmost part of civilization. It really is. It's like, that's where everybody, it's like that. I don't know, one of them Red Hot Chili Pepper songs or something. I don't know. It's like that's what everybody converges upon, but so it's very free, right? And different. So yeah, I was experiencing the culture, and that's like that's just normal. That's like if you're out at the beach or just parties, it's like cannabis. It's the other drugs that people hide, right? It's the I don't want to get into that. It's whatever. But yeah, so basically I became reliant on, and in fact, reliant in the sense of enjoying it for the relaxation purposes of, like instead of like, wanting to go out and party or, and at that age, it's usually always about doing something, and it seemed always to revolve around drinking. But the cannabis was just so mellow, and then you could do it anywhere, anytime. And just one puff, a tune up, as I like to say, a little tune up. And and you could be discreet about it. That's why I always liked pipes or bongs, but never really liked the the joints. It's always, stop and roll, and then the too much smoke, the excess smoke, and then it's on your fingers and you can't get rid of it. It's a bust. You're like a grandmama would, or auntie rather, the aunties here. If I was, that's a bust anyhow. So I grew accustomed to having pipes, and anyhow, I have topic for that too. So yes, college. Oh, this is, yeah. Well, college is where I really truly started to become connoisseur, and I will. That's good because that will segue right into this on the checklist. So yes, in college, I have a cannabis cousin friend, a friend. I call everybody as my cannabis cousin. If you smoke, if you're into the cannabis, you're my cousin. I'm your cousin Nikolai, the cannabis cousin. So I have a friend. Her name, I will make mention first name because if she listens to this, I want her to get big chuckle and know it was her. But my cannabis cousin Jill, if you're ever listening and watching, remember that one time when we went up to the Frisco of San Fran's, and then we went up to the legendary head shop, and specifically because we were going to get new bong for your cousin Nikolai, because um, I, this was like pre-glass. I had like them, like plastic acrylic ones, right? They were never really that good when tried to clean. Anyhow, so I was, trying to get hip to it all because like getting older now, and so we're going to get a bong. I don't know if you know about it. You're from Michigan, so you wouldn't, but I'm sure there are some, perhaps you have some listeners. I saw you had the Mendo Dope Boys, so I know you have some OGs from the coasts of West out there, and probably some folks that have the gray in the hair and the beard, or maybe down there in their pants as well. And they know of the legendary pipe dreams on the Haight Ashbury. You guys know, familiar with those two streets, the Haight Ashbury district? Of course you are. Well, if you aren't, you should Google it, because that's legendary, right, my friends? It's where it's always happening. It's all happening right there, my friends. Anyhow, so I read the High Times magazine. Now I'm a little bit older, taking you through the life of cousin Nikolai. And so Jill, she knows of the legendary Haight Ashbury and the pipe dreams, and I know of the Haight Ashbury, and I need a pipe, and so she drives me in her little Audi car, and we drive up there through the coast, right? It's really, and we're smoking, such most excellent time. And Jill, she's not too bad on the eyes, so your cousin Nicola is quite smitten. And then and we're driving and we make it to the Frisco San Fran's, and we go to the park of gates that's golden, and we do smoke down session, and somebody wanders around, and they were whispering things like doses, shrooms, Romulan. And I was like, what's he saying? What? What's he saying? And so, yeah, this guy, he was like backpack kid, and he like had some goodies. And so I don't know with his strain. I could be mixing it up. It's been so long. I might screw it up. You know how strains are specific to certain times, but I don't know. He had something wacky that I had not familiar with. And it was some sort of space cadet name. I don't know, but I got it and we smoked it. And remember the tippy toe story? Well, it kind of felt like that, but not quite as extreme. But it was heavy, so it was good giggles. So I got into the giggles. And so we made our way, which we walked. It's not too far from this park that I make mention of, and to the Haight Ashbury. It's several blocks. So we have most excellent walk, people watching and talking. And I oh yeah, so we get to the pipe dreams, um, and I'm picking out the bong, and the gal behind the counter that's working there that barely paid me any attention when I was asking too many questions. I don't know. She she look up from her magazine, and she goes, "Cool pants." And I happen to be into like skateboarding and stuff, and I had some wacky pants on, like I believe they could have been pajamas that I was just wearing as pants. They had some sort of, I don't know, pattern or character. I don't remember, but she liked them. And I, at that time, this is what I'm getting into on the checklist. You guys, this is bring it back. Are you guys familiar with the prototype? It's a little brass pipe, and they come off. It has chamber. You could put your stuff in, and then it's got poker. It's all brass, solid brass, right? And you take the poker, and you can poke the holes where the screen is, and if you push all the way through, little resin trap comes out, and then you can use that same little container that holds the bud, because it's like cylinder, and you can carve out your resin and reconstitute your resin when you're out of smoke, which I did quite often. But so this pipe was like, I was enamored by it, guys. It's like, you guys should look it up in Google if you're like into pipes, like your cousin Nikolai, and getting hip to it all with these legendary glass blowers like the Bob Snodgrass and the Jerome Bakers of out there of the West back in the day, who really paved the way, like the Chong of Tommies. Anyhow, so yes, the prototype was much more than a prototype. It was the prototype. And so I was looking at it, it was like a lot of money. It was more than I spent on the space cadet weed that we bought. Um, but the girl goes, "I would give you that pipe for those pants." And I thought, really? And I looked at Jill, and good thing suitcase was in the car. So we went back down the car, lickety split, and I traded my pants for a prototype. And I had that prototype for the longest time. In fact, when I was thinking about coming on your show, my friend, I started to reminisce about all these stories. And I got a little teary eyed about the prototype, because I don't know what happened to it. And this is like one of those pieces that it's like a pocket knife, right? it to me, that was like, it was such cool. The whole experience was so cool. And this like legendary place, and I'm me, newbie. And anyhow, so that was cool. So we left San Francisco. Let me move down the list before I start to cry about my prototype. In fact, maybe that gives me ideas. I know that business is back in
You got
business,
a
and
lot
they,
of people reminiscing about the prototype in chat, by the way. I just wanted to throw that out there.
hold on, let's get down to business. What do we want? We want, all right, excellent. Okay. Hope you guys like that. Yes, the awesome. So those guys are vintage. Those boys and girls, those guys and girls are vintage, like your cousin Nikolai, no doubt. It's like 80s thing. But apparently the prototype, because now that cannabis is legal, thank God the two brothers, I watched documentary on the prototype. In fact, I'm hoping to get out there to the real greenhouse guru and the T3 greenhouse supplies, hopefully bring me out to do some most excellent content out there in the counties of Humboldt's and coast of Oregon, whatever they're doing out there. But I would like to pay visit to the shop of the prototype and tell him my story. And I would like to somehow procure the original prototype, because they have made new one and I think it is much better, but I don't really want it. I want my original one, and I'd be like so happy if they had one with the little dent in it, right where mine had that little dent. Never mind. Okay, so moving on, we yeah, so the story from San Francisco, the prototype carries the story on down to the Los Angeles, Hollywood area that same weekend. That's right, my friends. I believe we were there on a Friday afternoon, and we probably, I think we just turned around and drove straight down to Los Angeles from there. And because we had a friend that was, this might date me, this friend in Dancer, she was girl, right? She was in, believe she was in Dancer for that show that was popular back in time. He's Living Color or something. He's those brothers, the Wayans, right? It's like they have show. It's like where Jim Carrey came from and all that, right? This girl, she was like hip hop dancer. And anyhow, like, so we go to like this club in like Hollywood where they're all going after the show. It's like, and it's like, this is now like 1989, 90, 89. I don't know, but
So I think it's in the show. The show was in living color, and I believe you're talking about one of the Fly Girls, correct?
yes, she was a fly girl, and we go to, right, fly girls, right? She was one of them, and this girl Jill knew because they were like into acting school at some point. They like going, you know how all them cool kids in Hollywood. I don't know. I just know Jill through other friending. But anyhow, so she take me down to meet all the cool kids, and sure enough, this like we meet like this rapper Tone Loc, he was there, and this other guy Ice T was there, and then like these other guys from the Jungle Brothers were there. These like they call themselves Zulu Nation or something, and like some of them had some of these girlfriends that were dancers, and I don't know. One of them was this. You guys would know now. Is I didn't know at time, but it was that the Lopez Jennifer. She was like there too, and it was like so anyhow, so it was crazy. I felt out of place as always, very underdressed as usual. And but I don't know, they like me, so I get to hang out with Jill and her cool friends and make small talk, whatever. But that's not where I was going with that. It was just part of it. I was just excited to be down there in the Hollywood. It's crazy times. Um, but we leave real late, and this is where the story, this is the point of this, where it gets kind of good, I guess. Well, maybe not good. um well, we were driving home quite late, and she's telling me about like who we just met, right? Like, do you know who that was? No, who was that? And right, and we're smoking, right, and we're at a traffic light, like on one of them areas, like, so we're out of the main Hollywood busy area, but we're now like business. I don't know, but it looks like ghost town, but with fancy buildings. And we're like kind of off to the side, like a parking spot, but at the light, right? And we're tuning up in the prototype. Yes, right. And then out of the shadows, man, like this dude just jumps on the hood of the car. And like he's got this long hair and it's like greasy, and I don't know if it's windy. I don't know, maybe I'm high, but it is like slow motion and his hair is moving around like, and he's like on the car and he looks in distress, and he's as white as a sheet, and he has very red lips. That's all I remember, and dark eyes. And I was like, what? And Jill looks at me and says, fucking vampire, and throws it in the reverse, fucking peels off. The guy falls down on the ground. She slams it in drive and goes, and I don't know, but I did hear a duh. And I'm not saying she ran him over, because I don't. I think it was just his arm or something. But I believe she was right. It was vampire. One of them, like Lost Boys or something from that movie. I don't know. It's fucking weird though. That's true. So she called them Hollywood vampires. I don't know. So I never went back to Hollywood. Just kidding. I did, but that was that story with the prototype. So I thought that would be for good shits and giggles to tell you guys about. So yeah, that's pretty much. So yeah, to
You got
bring it up to
everybody in chat cracking up.
oh, okay, good. I like you likey then. Excellent. All right, more.
Yes. Everybody has more than once said they've had fun tonight. I just want I'll
Oh, good.
pass that along.
Hey,
They're
thanks.
much enjoying this episode for sure.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, my friends. I appreciate all of you for um getting your cousin Nikolai. It's anyhow, I when I smoke, I feel like I'm the lost boy from Peter Pan. I see. I watched when I was growing up, in old country. The Walt Disney was quite popular, of course. If you could get somebody that had one of them big satellites that would let you see stuff like that. But when I did discover the Peter Pan, a young boy, right? The cartoon, the original animation, um, I believed I was Peter Pan. And I have been looking for my Tinkerbell for quite some time now. It's true, my friends. I am a lost boy, and I live vicariously through cannabis. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Just kidding. Um, anyhow, so thank you guys. I appreciate it. I'm really stoned. Maybe I will take a break here. My ass hurts because I forgot to get cushion for the stool. I've been telling cousin we need to get cushion for the stool, and he says we're on spending threes since the war started back. So yeah, so what
Yeah,
else in my
stretch.
go ahead.
Go ahead, stretch.
Oh, thank you.
Take a
Oh,
puff there, my friend.
yes,
Jeez.
let me go back to above microphone so you guys can hear me. Oh yeah. All right. All right. What are you guys smoking on tonight? What do you let me get my hold on. What are you smoking on, cousin?
Well, it just so happens. It almost seems just so happens that it was almost like a plan. You know what I mean? But I am smoking the marijuana, the day slayer there. Is what I happen to be puffing on.
It's
Uh
very yes, my friend. It's like a potpourri of bouquets of terpenes. No doubt. This is organic grown. And let me correct you with his name, Morganja. Morganja. He, yes,
I am
he's true.
terrible. You know, you would think that I'm the one from the old country as bad as I mess up a lot of names, to be
Right.
honest with you.
Well, it's all right. I must give proper plug because this is my cannabis cousin. This guy, Dave Morgan, has been checking me out for quite some time. He's been making sure I he polices me in a good way. He's been informing me about the caregivers and the organics um and kind of who's who on the scene. I'm learning about the corporate giants that are coming in and squeezing out the people. I'm learning about this. I really thought it was such a great thing. The legalization here recreationally, right? And it would be like kid in candy store and so many different options. But now that I'm more involved with the community and some of the people that have been activists here, especially in Michigan, for quite some time, if you're in the cannabis scene, you come across these people's names and you see what they're doing, and they have been fighting battles for many, many years before a lot of us became aware of, eh, or whatever, become aware of more of what's going on. But yeah, it's so if you're a lover of the plant, and just out of respect for those people, because I'm newbie coming on scene, and I certainly want to pay homage to the real advocates, the Jack Herrers, the Dennis Perones, the here I go, brain farts. Who do we have here? We have the John Sinclairs. Who else? We have Rick Thompson. We have the Jamie Lowell. We have the Berg 313. We have the people that are speaking about the issues at hand. We have Rick Anstis, Mr. Fun Guy 420. He's a big part of the Big Cloud Farms. Um, these are these are the people that are really speaking up for the plant, and I just make mention of them because I like what I'm trying to do in the cannabis space, and I think what I can do is bring some kind of my humor, or just my funniness from being newbie, and I'm not shy to make fun of myself, but I want to be serious too, and take the opportunity when I do have serious discussions with people to have enough understanding and knowledge of the plant to share this information. So, with that being said, if you're enjoying the plant recreationally, it's because of the other people who did things illegally and fought for us so we could have this legally. So Miss K's, or the people that don't um, have access to it, can gain access. And it would be really nice to have the community support the dispensaries, or the caregivers, or the growers that are trying to be legal, that are trying to do the right thing, and and give back, to the community. And this is a conversation that I had on the Medical Mondays, is like, where are the okay dispensaries? Where are the good cannabis brands? Who are the good ones? That, I mean, because not a lot of them were caregivers that have now went legal, right? So we want to support them. That's what the idea was, is that if they are business savvy enough to position themselves and get the finances in order to play the game of jump through bureaucracy hoops, then we must recognize those people and support them. And so that is what Dave Morgan of Morganja Farms has taught me about true caregivers. And so when I see Dave Morgan of Morganja Farms, I I support him. I go there and I pay what I would have paid normally, back in the day. There's no reason to go to your, like, I'm sorry, I'm rambling on, but like, it's worth it. Whatever he asks for his, it, I'm sorry, I sometimes feel like I get too involved in a topic that I may not know enough about. And that's where I should
No.
stop with my opinion. But I'm just saying, support the good ones, find the good ones. And yes, it's your responsibility to know um, the politics of the plant too. So when it comes time to vote, that you're aware of the issues, because they're trying to change things. All you have to do is look at California, Washington, Oregon, and Colorado, and the price of the cannabis. Um,
it's all changing. It's just a matter of time before big corporate giants come in more and more, right? When will it stop? When will it be in Walmart and being sold just like alcohol? You know, um, I don't know. See, I ramble too much. I'm way ahead of the game, but my point is just stay responsible with the planet. It's not just smoking and forgetting, right? You have a responsibility to share the message, whether it's healing or just turning someone on to it properly. I guess we all have to do our part. I don't mean to lecture. I'm sorry. Anyways, I do need to smoke bowl now. Maybe I should. Yes, it's time for the day slayer. I
Please
have been,
smoke that bowl.
huh?
I said, please smoke that bowl, my friend. You've been so kind. You watched me smoke what, 3 or 4 joints.
Yeah,
You
right.
more than deserve
Yeah,
a
all right.
puff.
Okay,
But
hold
I
on.
can tell you, I greatly, greatly appreciate what you're saying, though, about supporting the caregivers and the passion of supporting your friends and all that. 100%. And I greatly appreciate you yourself and your cousin for wanting to tell these stories. Even though we may be working on a similar goal, you know what I'm saying? I I in no way think we can cover it all. You know what I mean? There's so many amazing people and stories out there. I greatly appreciate you hitting the road and trying to meet these people and tell the stories because it's important. It's hugely important. You know what I mean? We talk about the medical side of cannabis and we see recreational quickly steamrolling in and trying to suck the heart right out of the cannabis community. And I think it's moreover super important these stories get told so people realize it isn't just recreational. There's more to cannabis than going out to a provisioning center and picking up, some recreational cannabis. There's medicine behind it. There's a culture behind it. There's great people that brought it to this point, like you say. And I appreciate it. I think, when I started this, people asked me, you gonna do this every night? I'm like, yeah. You sure? I said, I don't think I'm gonna run out of people to talk to. You know what I mean? And I appreciate people like yourselves getting out there and reaching places I can't reach. You know what I mean? Because there is so many amazing stories. And moreover, I want to thank you for coming on and being an amazing guest because you know what I mean. This is the perfect example right here of what you're gonna go. You know what I mean? I didn't meet you. I've never met you before, other than the recent random bump in at Mendo in Michigan. So this is a perfect example of the awesome people that you run into for happen chance. You know what I mean? You never know where roads are gonna cross. So you know what I mean? You're a perfect example of amazing people that you're going to run into when we go out to these events. So shout out to you for, coming on and, shining a light on who you're going to run into at these events, my friend. You know what I mean? Awesome person. I greatly enjoyed this so far, my friend.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. Yes, well, if I'm sure the listeners that are listening are true, as we say, stoners, and they know from experience that especially when it was illegal, when you found a cannabis cousin that smoked with you, whether you're on vacation, maybe on job, or just you smell it at a concert and you give that person the look, the nod, whatever. They see it in your eye and they offer it, and then all of a sudden conversation strikes up, and that person could have been from anywhere, any color, any race, all of that, right? um, and it was always a unique thing when you would come across that your cousin, your cannabis cousins out there. And a lot of that's all you needed. Was That's all the world needs, is one common thing to bring us together for a moment, to to not think about anything but what we're there for. And usually when you don't have it and you want it, that's what you're thinking about. And there's a goal, right? You need to find it and procure it. And the person that has it is like-minded like yourself. And as you know, when you do smoke it, it's quite a different feeling than when you uh, drink alcohol. And I use alcohol as the main reference. It's the only drug out there that you have to make excuses for why you don't drink. When you say, when someone offers you drink, you're like, no, why is that? What? Like you have problem with drinking? "Hmm, yes, actually, not like it was habitual problem, but how many children would be much more at ease in their life and better off with a parent that came home too stoned or too high, as they say, than too drunk, right? I don't want to make a big broad stigma reference to all alcohol, but more times than not, the demise and destruction from that drug um that is so prevalent in our societies is the biggest problem of all. I would say that's the gateway drug. Um, but so yes, the healing plant. I don't know. I thought there was a point somewhere there, but yes, I almost feel. I think back on just the fun I had with both the cannabis and alcohol, and I don't have too many stories other than maybe that vampire story that end bad with cannabis. There are many, many other stories. Most of the tragedies or problems or troubles that I had out in the streets or the wilds of the world, my friends, was when I was drinking the alcohol with other people. As you know, you could have 12 people sitting in a room and you give them the alcohol. Probably three or four of them will be at fisticuffs at some point. But if you were the cannabis there, I think everybody would be, maybe some people introvert, be quiet, but I believe some people would be making up some silly fun stuff, coming up with some creative ideas and different kinds of conversations, maybe doing some fun jokes. Maybe there is a lampshade involved, but you won't have any throw up or fist fights or a hangover afterwards. Anyhow, you get what I'm trying to say. So let me switch. Yeah, so let me switch gears and take it back into my adult life with cannabis as I started to get older and learn more about it and try to procure it more. I would come across better people that were able to have growers or hookups with better cannabis, and that's when I started to learn about the different strains. And I believe that's when I found out finally, probably in my late 20s, the difference between indicas and sativas. And I always wondered why sometimes I would get a bag that smelled very good and looked very good, but the high that I got from it wasn't that stoned high. Whereas, like an indica, in the couch, like, like most people, at least when I was coming up, you were smoking it to get stone loaded, right? With your friends or something at the parties, and you wanted to feel it, right? And so the sativas, I would always I'd feel like it was Bud Light. I would smoke it, and it was like I think I'm high, but I'm not like really stoned. I never wanted to sit down. No wonder I could never go to sleep at night. And my mind would be racing. I should have got up and cleaned the house. But that's when later in life, I now, the indicas and sativas. So during the days, I'm smoking sativa dominant type strains. And then in the evening, like when it's time, then I get down into a heavier, more indica based, like the Day Slayer from Morganja Farms, of course. And and anyhow, so yeah, so now I am like a bit of a strain hunter now that it has come on scene. And now that your cousin Nikolai is kind of like getting hip to it all, now I'll fast forward us all the way past the troubles of my adult life and divorce and beautiful kids, and now I have grandchildren here, and we're enjoying ourselves. And they are like, well, they're quite young, but I have my granddaughter, and some you could go back and past the Instagram reels, and you'd have to dig kind of deep. But I last summer had her in the garden with me, and we did a live stream and had lunch and the plants. And so the mama would let her come over to grandpapa's house and walk in the cannabis garden. And she was a little bit apprehensive because of the stigmas. And I'm trying to explain to her, I'm not trying to smoke cannabis with my granddaughter. I'm just simply watering plants. And at this point, they're not even flowering. So uh, how is there anything wrong with this? It's like tomato for all. If they didn't recognize leaf, it could be tomato plant for all she knows. But I just tell her, do you want to learn? Do you want to water the plants? And I tell her it's about cannabis, and my goal is to teach her about this. It's a good bonding experience. I'm rambling quite a bit. I didn't mean to get into that, but so anyhow, yeah, I'm doing the outdoor growing with the grandkids. I was going to say something. Oh yeah, I'm bringing you up to speed to mainstream time. And what I like about cannabis now that I'm getting hip to it all is that I'm learning more and more as I'm growing and teaching my granddaughters, right? And meeting new people like yourself, Eagle. And then, of course, you had on the legendary Michael Fang. If you're watching, cousin, big shout out to you and cousin Amy. Hi. Hi, guys. And um, their new favorite friends, because if you and you guys you should go to Eagle's channel and check out the Mendo and the Mitten, and then when you're done with his, you should go to my channel and check out the Michael Fang talk on the Mendo breath, which, if you don't know, I will make mention again, is the backbone to a lot of the genetics, especially here in Michigan, from what Michael has told us. Um, and that many people have these genetics in play and don't even know it. And some of the more popular brands that have come on scene, and I will not make mention of names because I don't know enough to talk, but Michael has clued me in a little bit more about how this whole legacy of the genetics has come about, and how some players have gained access to these genetics without leaving proper, how you say, homage to the original people that created these strains. And if you don't know about the genetics and strains, you're newbie like your cousin Nikolai, be sure to tune into my channel because I will make a little announcement. The Michael Fang will be coming on to show a bit more often, and he has blessed your cousin Nikolai with a pseudo apprenticeship with his genetics to be like a personal apprentice of his and learn how to grow his lovely cultivars the Michael Fang way. That's right, my friends, crystals and everything. Double rainbow, as I like to tell Michael, it's going to be double rainbows. So, yes, my friend, it's true, super top secret. Shh, don't tell anybody. But anyhow, yeah, I'm a newbie indoor tent grower. I've been sponsored by the AC Infinity brand of tents. They see one of my reels and they see that I purchase a lot of the products, and then they reach out to me and ask me if I wanted to be like I don't know, like affiliate, whatever, content creator, special deal. And I say, sure. So they send me some more products. I've been slowly putting them into play, and then getting my room ready. So when Michael comes and then I have another sponsor, I have to get plug cousin. I not just like superhero with these like
Oh
NASCAR
no,
guys.
Tommy's a friend of the channel. Go
Right.
ahead, plug shit out, Tommy.
Right. Okay. So Cannabis Cousin, Detroit Tommy of Detroit Nutrient Company, Great Lakes water only. If you don't know about them, check it out. It is a true no-till living soil, utilizing all sorts of great things here from the mitten state of the Great Lakes and the Canadian region, the peat mosses and all this sorts of stuff. Just look at the bag; it will tell you. But anyhow, I have to pay much homage to cousin Tommy, because cousin Tommy was one of the very first people at the Hydro Pros in Utica, Michigan, that allowed me to come in during the just after COVID lockdowns. And I walked in real shy and asked if I could do some filming content with my cousin Duke, who's my miniature dachshund family dog. And I try to, do these content with Miss K, and they let me come in there. And so that was one of the first people I met was Detroit Tommy. And I said, "Hi, cousin, I'm cousin Nikolai." And I showed him a couple things. And I guess he liked it like some of you are liking right now. And I asked him, "I'm looking for people to sponsor. What's the soil all about?" Because I did my own pseudo super soil the first year. I did it all by myself, pseudo super soil, I called it. Wasn't really a super soil, but it was pretty close. And so I tell Tommy about this, and he says, "Well, you should try mine." And I said, "Well, okay." And so he gave me most excellent sponsorship. Okay, so that's what I did. And this year, same thing. And I get most excellent shirt and I get new hat. So I don't have many clothes that are cool. Like all the cool kids have all these like brands and logos. So it matches. I like it. What do you think? Like superstar.
I I like it. Again, I appreciate you, support some great people in the community. Hey, he is
Yeah.
a pretty great dude. I've had him on the show. It was a fun episode. Sent me some mushroom bags, hooked me right up, didn't even blink an eye. Same kind of shit, that's the way that dude is, man. Same thing. I inquired about some soil. I got you. You know what I mean? That's kind of, so I don't mind you. You should give it him a shout out. Awesome dude, 100%. But I want to pull you back a little bit because you see me maybe in high raise when you were talking about being a Jedi of Mr. Fang there. uh you mentioned crystals. So that sparks my interest because that is something man, you'd probably be surprised and probably really like a lot of past guests and content, you know what I mean? So at one point we brought in the witches. We brought in the witches, the green witches.
I don't know who
And
you're speaking of. You'll have to clue me in. I'm
so
totally new.
basically like herbal witches, you know what I mean? People that are more want a homeopathic, and you know what I mean? There's a proper term that I'm
When you say
missing here,
witches,
but
is it a
with them,
brand? Are you talking about a brand like they call themselves the Green Witches, or are you using a like sarcastic term like labeling
no,
them?
no, 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 no. There was uh I forget what the whole it's been so long and I smoked so much weed.
It's okay, take
Um,
your time.
so there was a small crew there, Miss Chicha B, Amber Lana, Miss Madam T. Them again, kind of in the Cana community doing their own thing once a week, talking about crystals and homeopathic medicines and a little bit of everything.
Okay.
And with them kind of the channel and people hung out here, I'd already kind of had, and I have a thing for stones and stones, crystals. When they kind of came with them, came more of an interest in crystals. And we started talking about adding crystals with the soil. And at one point I had Jake from Midnight Roots on, who I think is a super interesting cat as well. And we were talking on crystals and well, he was talking about how he was working with the plant and putting the pickups on the plant and be able to make music and whatnot with it. And and we got talking about crystals. I'm like, Jake, yeah, we got one probably right there. Why don't you put it at the base of that plant? And no shit, if you can go back, watch the episodes, you see, well, first of all, as the plant's sitting there, you can tell, the more we were talking about it, the more active the plant got. Not really. And we woke it, we took it right out of the night cycle, you know what I mean? So it was sleeping. And as we talked about it, it seemed to wake up a little bit. Then he grabbed that crystal, dropped it at the base of that crystal, or at the base of that plant. That thing went, woke right up. Boom. And even more so as we talked about it, that plant started going crazy and stuff. So we've talked about a little bit around here about crystals in the soil, crystals around your plant, affects, the energy they put off. So that's why I kind of, I was like, another one. They fit in well around here. They fit
You're,
in well. I knew it was a good meat.
you're on to something. Somebody, yes, you crystal folks, the crystal worshippers. Yes, you're onto something because I won't make too much. I'll give my opinion. I will leave that to the episode with the Michael Fang to get into more of the crystal because I have one of Michael's crystals that he bestowed upon me with the genetics. He gave me a little gift. I
So
thought,
this is a good plug for that episode because I know there's a lot of people that watch the show that are interested in the subject. So if you could take them, a little further and give them some information, heck yeah, it would be a
okay,
good
well, I
episode
guess.
for them.
All right, guys. Well, you're getting sneak peek, and that's what cousin Nikolai likes to do. If you're new to your cousin Nikolai, be sure to tune into my Instagram show where I bring you sneak peeks inside the cannabis industry on both sides, and the people I meet in my quirky, wacky way. And so, yes, I have most excellent. I think I clocked it out at 1 hour and 14 minutes with the Michael Fang himself today, all about this. I won't give you too much of the details until infrastructure is
Just
more
tell them
up.
if you could maybe give
I'm
them, remind them where they could find it.
yes, I will.
Maybe give them a little hint on when they could see it.
Yes,
Hmm,
I'm going to give you all the
perhaps.
teasers I can. I'm just not going to give you all the details. I'm teasing you right now as we speak. What is that in the background? Is my life? What's going on? Oh, it's the monitor. I don't like that. You guys probably don't even see that. Anyhow, see the squirrel. There's a squirrel. Anyhow, yes, the Michael Fang has bestowed upon me. I met him out at his spring eye gathering. Let's do this properly since we've got, wow, it's 2 o'clock. I don't believe I will be getting my reel done in time. You guys don't expect my reel to be launched at 8 in the morning. Oh boy. Anyhow,
Sorry.
so the Michael Feng, I meet him at the Third Eye Spring Gathering, which was a very special, exclusive gathering that Michael and his mate, the Miss Amy, put on, bringing his world-class genetics uh, to the folks of the Metro Detroit area at this most excellent place where a lot of the artist community here in the city of Motors, Detroit, um, reside. They are glass blowers. In fact, the Michigan Glass Blowing Project Company has loft there, and they put on classes. And your cousin Nikolai is trying to infiltrate that inner circle. Um, but it's anyhow. That's another topic. And so yes, the Michael Fang have this private party, and I find out about it. I did not even know about the Fang. Yes, I hope my cannabis cousin, and please, this is big shout out to another one of our cannabis cousins that's worth a mention and a follow. Eagle is Dreaming of Cannabis is his page. What an excellent name, Dreaming of Cannabis. Check him out on the gram, and he find your cousin. Oh no, so I'm also sponsored by another company, Cutting Edge Solutions, and the growers tested formulas to. So I will be doing organics in the no-till living soil with the Fang in one area with some products that I have acquired. The Autopot system in particular, I am running now after I have overwatered and underwatered and that made a real mockery of things. My first run with the auto flowers here inside, I was chasing tail quite a bit, and so I bought into the Autopot system, and that's what I will be using to hydrate and feed the plants as two separate Autopot systems. And then within those systems, and this is what I'm getting to, you guys are getting sneak peek of the full layout of what's going on. So I have this little, you have to go to my Instagram page and see previous posts. I show pictures of my
I call it my indoor mini grow room, where I have a couple AC infinity tents, and then I have two separate areas I call the cubby and the shower area. And they're basically, as you look at it, I have one tent, one 2x4 tent here that will be growing the Michael Fang genetics and with the crystals and the living soil. And in fact, this will be first time Michael, I guess I could let them know. Well, hope Michael doesn't get mad. Michael grows in a certain soil that is real quiet. I don't know if I have permission to make mention. And plus, I don't know if I want to plug that other company that is in competition with the Detroit Nutrient Company. But there is another legendary living soil that a lot of people know. And anyhow, so the Michael Fang utilizes that with his super special secret crystal recipes and ways of the Michael, and does his thing that we know brings out some world-class genetics, like um, that stand up with a lot of the great growers in the world. And Michael happens to be one of them, and he's got a way of doing it. And I really like his style. And I'm just lucky boy, I'm really rambling on. Yeah. So I got to go back to the dreaming of cannabis, invited me to the party. I met the Michael Fang. And yes, so Michael now came onto the show. He brought me his cultivars to take some pictures because I'm trying to get into, more cannabis photography, and utilize my cousin's equipment, and he's kind of teaching me some things. But anyhow, so I do some pictures for Michael, and when I get him on the show, and he start to tell me about the genetics, and so we kind of bond and we make nice, and I tell him that I'm sponsored by the AC Infinity, and I have to do a seed to harvest grow, and I asked him, would you like to be involved? I mean, if you wanted to do collaboration, I have this cool studio, and you could come out and teach your cousin Nikolai what's up. And so he said yes. So that's one of the guys. And so we will be doing that for the first time. Michael will be growing in the Detroit Nutrient Company's Great Lakes water only, but I will have special privy access to all this crystal talk that you make mention of. That's right. And then I also, so I'm also sponsored by the Growers Tested Formula and the Cutting Edge Solutions, and that will be running in the other system, running some nutrients, so I can see and learn about that, because I'm trying to, of course, learn myself. And I know you organic growers, especially our cannabis cousin Dave Morgan of Ganja Farms. I know he's got a beard on him, and he's shaking his head, scoffing at your cousin Nikolai. But trust your cousin Nikolai, we are friends. I understand what he is doing, and I am in agreement. But I must learn to grow like pros. But I will make mention of this, cousin Dave, and all you people that are against the nutrients, that are full organics, right, and the living beneficials and microbials and whatnot. Um, is that the new the cutting edge solutions is a non-sodium based nutrient, so that is using no sodiums to push the molecules through the plant, as they say. So it's not damaging, as the seasoned growers know. These salts and these sodiums really kill anything um, beneficial in the in your medium, right? Is that not right? I think I'm talking for, maybe I should stop now before I say something and get negative post. I will leave it till when Mr. Fang comes on and schools me. But the good guy, Gordy Johncock, I have to give a representation, and you should know about him too, Eagle. If you don't, check out Growers Grown. It's Gordy Johncock. He's the brand ambassador and rep for Cutting Edge Solutions and the Growers Tested Formula. But much more than that, he is true OG caregiver, and he spent many years out there in the county of Humboldt, coming up the ranks. And then he's a longtime Michigan resident, and now he's back here spreading the truth about the healing plant. And I have to give him shout out, because he take a liking to your cousin Nikolai, and it's because of him and Tommy and Michael and you now, Eagle, and the Berg 313 and the Rick Anstis, that just in the last 3 months have, like, I guess how you say, level me up in this world of Instagram and cannabis community. But it brings validity and gives me more reassurance that I'm on the right path to success in what I'm trying to do. And quite honestly, I really want to uh, get my podcast going on the Cannabis Evangelist Network. That will basically be my cousin's production network through his content company. And I will ride coattails like that. But I feel as though the more I get involved with people like yourself and Michael Fang and the Rick Anstis, and I can maybe go out and showcase these things and bring information that people haven't heard, or just different, you know what I'm trying to do, something interesting. um yeah, so so let me round it up. So yeah, Michael's bestowed upon me a pseudo apprenticeship. He will be coming on, and we spoke today, and we plan on doing this. I would like to get it going here right after the 4th of July. Or I would, I'd like to say 1st of July and start it then, but it will not be like some documentation, whereas every week to see that we will give you, we will get together hopefully once a week, or at least once every 2 weeks. But we will do some content. We will probably sit down here at the table. We'll probably mess around with the plants, little, axi cam, little shaky cam type, like right there. Maybe it's a live stream. I don't know. Maybe, and we talk about the growing and what we're doing, and then maybe when we get into the thick of it, this is what we're thinking about: is giving really good valuable content, like you talk about the crystals. And I'm sure people have lots of questions for the Fang. I do, because I've been reading up and studying more about him. um, and so yeah, we will try to do that in some sort of structured format that is beneficial for not only the newbies like your cousin Nikolai, but for you seasoned veterans that know of Michael Fang's background and the genetics that he's playing with. And of course, he has the Seed Bank International, which is housing a lot of different breeders, as I am coming to understand. Michael is bringing me up to speed, so to speak. And perhaps there will be some sort of exclusive seed drop in correlation with this grow. Just maybe. Shh, don't tell. Secret. But anyhow, stay tuned for more. But that's what's going on. But yeah, apart from that, I will be simultaneously probably growing some auto flowers, maybe in the, I call it the cubby in the shower. It's not a tent area, it's the open area. So it is pretty dark in there. I was just checking the other night. There's no, I could have some photo periods in there, but I kind of like this auto flower thing. In fact, I just finished growing them, and you guys will like this. I'll be honest with you. I do newbie things. So yeah, auto flowers have a certain amount of time, right? Right. Like they flower at a certain time and then they're done, right? Well, all cannabis plants at some point are done. They start to hit a point of no return and they die off, right? Well, I for, I guess I kind of forgot that I was supposed to be like, I mean, I kept track of everything. So when good guy Gordy Johncock reached out, because I was wondering why my plants were yellowing, and I started to chase nutrients, and I was really all over the place because I was growing cocoa on one side with nutrients, and then Detroit Nutrient Company, Living Soil all by itself. Same seed, same plant, same autoflower, right? From the Hashistan Farms. It was an Afghan land race, I believe, mixed with an orange sherbet. I believe that was it. It's an autoflower. But so I tried technique. I do a topping, right, on one of them to get the canopy all level, right? And then I let the other one grow like Christmas tree because I just want to see what the difference. Am I talking too much? Just kidding. Anyhow, um, so yeah, I do the Christmas tree style, and then I quickly realized, because then halfway through I buy a par meter because I'm trying to be all techie, so you guys don't laugh at me being a newbie grower and like try to make fun of me in the comments, because I'm not very sensitive like that. I don't know if I can take it. And anyhow, so trying to be like all technical, and excuse me, I tried to measure the par meter. So I get it's really cool. You guys should check it out. Um, it's the Oh gosh, man, I have the thing right there. It's a spot on meter. Yes, it's the spot on meter by InnoQuest. That's right. You could go to my Instagram page and go to the bio, and I have a Koji link bio with all my affiliate links for these products that I am playing around with, and that happens to be one of them. It'd be great if somebody went there and actually bought something for once. I would like to see one of these affiliate codes actually work. I believe I have sold one of my cousin Nikolai mugs, vintage mugs. In fact, you guys, if you're listening, this will be like this is like limited edition. This is pre-puberty cousin Nikolai before this most excellent beard. And I'm going to change the logo. Show him the sticker, cousin. Show him up the sticker. It's what current logo is
Sticker.
on my thing right there. Don't stick that, cousin. I'll give you another one to stick somewhere. You keep that. That might be worth something. I know the first original one I should turn into NFT, make like a little limited edition, and make everybody want to like chase after it. I don't know. Me and Michael Fang were talking about NFTs today. Do you know that he sold an NFT seed pack with his for like 2 point something ETH at its highest? Like almost, I don't know, $11,000, $17,000. And I thought,
It's
wow,
crazy.
it's crazy. But I watched that. Who's that? Two Chains? Somebody, they go around some show. I saw my other cousin down in Detroit. He smoked me down with one of these blunts. I couldn't get off the couch, and I watched TV for way too long. I hardly ever watch TV because I feel like it's a waste of time. I need to be creating something. But we watch it. It's like this I believe he's a rapper. I don't know, basketball player. I don't know, they call him Two Chains or something. He goes around and they just basically give this guy the most expensive type cannabis, and he was smoking like gold wrap leaf cannagars, and then it's like stuff that was like $30,000, or like opening up boxes, and it's obviously branding and marketing to an upper echelon. But geez, if Louis Vuitton and Gucci can do all that, why couldn't somebody like Michael Fang create something, especially if these are genetics that are, come from some history and legendary genetics. I believe that people like Michael are doing um, good for the plant, and it's like to the legacy of something, and especially as he's educating people along the way. And Anyhow, I don't know too much to talk about it because Michael tells me there's a lot of haters out there and blah, 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 this and that. To each is their own. I judge each man and woman for face value with my personal experience with them. And usually, when it revolves around cannabis, there's usually not too much problem. The things that problem people have usually result from the beginning of an ego that now takes them down a path of not just allowing people to do what they want, right? And make the best life that they can. And then we need to build up people and encourage them, and especially in this cannabis industry. Yes, there are players out there, and I think it's the people that I know, and I have to, and I'll bring up. I'd be the first one to be against the people that are profiting off the plant that have not even smoked it ever, right? To me is like, well, you're a capitalist. I understand that. That's fine. Um, but I don't want to shop at your store. I don't want to hang out with you. In fact, most of the people that I gravitate to, you don't have to smoke, but typically the people that I are people that are cannabis users. I don't even need to know about it, right? But you just like these people, and then come to find out later, oh, you do like cannabis. Well, no wonder I liked you. You're of like mind, right? And you're just like feelings. So let's talk about the feelings and vibrations, right? So I'll segue, spin you right back into the crystals, and I'll touch on that because everything is frequencies, is it not? And I will make mention of the great Nikola Tesla. Are you familiar with Nikola Tesla? Yes, he's Serbian cousin. It's true. Serbian cousin that grew up in Croatia. And anyhow, he was the inventor to it all, everything that we have here. It was the other ones that were trying to, just like they do with this plant, suppress him and his wonderful inventions and discoveries that brought us modern day Wi-Fi, the radio. The man that was Italian that discovered the radio, he couldn't figure it out. He went to Tesla in New York. So I'm having trouble. And Tesla was like Elon Musk of Tesla. Tesla, the modern day Tesla car company is open source. All that stuff is open source. If you can make a better car, start there. Make your electric car. He said, I just watched a motivational talk and he's like, I hope someone does put my company out of business. That means that we're progressing and it's better for humanity. Right. So, boy, I get off topic. Sorry, I don't mean to lecture so much. I guess that you get to hear my opinion. Good thing I'm not drunk, right? Anyhow, so anyhow, frequency. Thank God I didn't smoke the Day Slayer yet. I'm still smoking on, and I have to say, a big shout out to Leaf Cycle. If you're watching, cousin, yes, I'm smoking on the Leaf Cycle. He is another cannabis grower, organic caregiver, my cousins, and he's on the gram too, Leaf Cycle, and I have to give shout out because he's another one, Eagle, that believed in your cousin Nikolai and actually reached out to me on the gram and came over to the house. And he's been motivating me to keep pushing forward and in my endeavors here. And in fact, he was over just the other day. And as you know, what you're trying to do, I'm sure early in the beginning, I see you have hundreds of, how long have you been at this, cousin Eagle?
Very long time.
How many years?
Very long time.
Like, what's that mean?
Well, for this in particular project, I'm in year 3, but before this, I helped start another Michigan-based kind of show as well. And then before that, I was actually a representative for TGA, sold seeds for a very long time. I was a tester for Sub and a personal friend with him for a very long time. Actually, I see somebody here in chat that I haven't seen around in a while that was super cool, that met me back when things started, we could actually, the medical scene took off. And I met this person there at one of the dispensaries and was a bud tender, and was greatly impressed that they knew what the fuck they were talking about. She was talking about CBDs and fucking she knew, and I gave her praise then. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's such a relief. Somebody's actually talking about this plant as a medicine. And you know what I mean? It's kind of cool that happened to see this all kind of a little bit full circle. But man, I've been doing this for a very long time. I'm super passionate about the the plant itself. I've lost a lot of people from pharmaceutical medicines. Outside, this plant's been here for me forever. You know what I mean? I started smoking at an early age. My dad fucking sold a lot of weed. When I was on my own, I hustled. I've always hustled the planet in one way or another. And it was very gratifying, to become a caregiver and start to know that I was making a difference and meeting great people, you know what I mean? To finally hang my head up high, you know what I mean? And how often as cannabis consumers, growers, people that just flipped a few bags just so they could get there free, you know what I mean? We're viewed as drug dealers or whatever. It's been awful nice to see this come around and be able to hold our head high, you know what I mean? Just because we didn't drink and we chose this path, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're finally starting to be able to be vindicated. You know what I mean? It didn't fuck us up in school. It didn't take us down the wrong path. It's made us nothing but great people. The commercials that sit around and become couch lock. Every fucking person I know in cannabis is a hustler. 4 to 6 hours sleep, doing it because they love it, passionate about this shit. You know what I mean? There's the stereotypical bullshit behind what we've been pushed all these years is sad. And again, I got a lot of respect for you and anybody else that out here trying to, spotlight the real reason why we do this. There's two people. The person you were talking about earlier that does it just for the moment, that's industry. That's the cannabis industry. Me, you, the caregivers out here that are doing this because we love it and we know it's a medicine and it's a fucking powerful thing. Not just, again, how many great people have we met through the cannabis plant, much less, the medicine, the impact we see it have that way. But I'm very proud there's so many people doing this and showing these stories because it's a fucking amazing plant. And we have to make people realize there's more to it. Because the recreational cannabis comes rolling through, it's going to take away a lot of our rights as growers, caregivers. And that's why I love these festivals. These festivals support the people that are the real true heart of what's going on in cannabis. The fucking the storefronts in a lot of in places, yeah, they're helping people out, patients out, but the people that are really got the passion and give you the quality cannabis are at these fucking festivals. They're at these fucking festivals, man. Flat out. So I don't know. I have a lot of respect for anybody that grows the plant one way or another, but I've got a lot of respect for the caregivers that even though times are tough and we're trying to be pushed out, like you were saying, a lot of us, I got all none but respect that all the caregivers that are up there now and doing it because they love it. That's the dream we all had. Congrats, you fucking made it. You know what I mean? I got no hate for that. You know what I mean? I'm very proud to support you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a great thing. It's a great plant. It's a great community. So, yeah. Pleasure to meet you, my friend.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you, cousin Nikolai.
Thank you, cousin. Likewise. It's my pleasure. And no, you bring up great points. And we're at just the beginning of it all. I mean, w- we're we're at just the beginning. It's we have so far to go still, right? Breaking the stigma of it's terrible. What it can do for the children with epilepsy and oops, that's a mistake. Yeah. Oh, that's what the keyboard does. Oh, look at that. Space bar. There's the wrinkly green screen. That's right. Anyhow, good thing cousin's not here. Anyhow, so yeah, it's we have a long way to go and yeah, what you're doing. So I asked you, I was asking like how many episodes do you have on your podcast here? Because I was like 663.5. I was like confused by the numbering. How many podcasts do you have?
Wait,
You do this every
well,
night.
see, there's thousands now. When I set out to do this in the beginning, it was like question mark, tuck and roll every night. And somebody asked me, how are you gonna plan to do this? I was like, every night. And they're like, every night. And I was like, every night. And so I went 2 solid years of doing it every night, 11:30 to 4:20 every night. Third year kind of started, life happens, had to, take a few days off here and there. But the point fives are the Weedner worlds. So the Weedner worlds,
Okay.
go ahead if you got
No,
a
no, no.
question.
Michael Fang told me a little bit about the weed nerd and the subcool, right? Is it subcool?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
Subcool,
please
the original Weedner.
yeah, right. That original. And he told me a little bit about that and just how it was quite popular at the beginning, right? And now we have just oversaturation of the market. And one of my cannabis cousins, Leaf Cycle, called them. I thought it was funny. Called them pollen chuckers. And I thought that was funny. And then I see this meme the other day, and it's like it was like before and after, and it was like a surf break, and it was like the seed game, I don't know, back when it was all brand new, and then like the seed game now, and it was like a wave, and they call it the lineup, where you like line up to try to drop in on your wave, and then when it's really busy, all the kooks are out. And so everybody's fighting for position, and so that's what it looks like now in the seed. Sorry, I ramble again, but yeah, it's quite saturated. That Michael was telling me a little bit about the subcool, so let you take you back to that about the Weed Nerd Nation.
and the subcool, and then please elaborate more about the Mendo Dope Boys and how they sing about the Weed Nerd Nation. Go ahead.
Oh man. So the we nerds are a tight knit bunch for sure. You are welcome, and now formally, officially, welcome to be a Willie nerd. Probably already are by the sounds of it, to be honest with you. But so Subcool obviously started TGA or helped start, which was a group of breeders putting seeds out there. And he started putting out videos along the way about the strains he was growing and everything else. And I thought what I myself and everything else admired about Sub was he was growing the shit. So basically, not only was the strange reputable and shit, but he was doing these podcasts, like, but back then they weren't live, they were uploaded, and people fucking really really digged it. You know what I mean? First time I seen it, it was him trying to teach super soil and him just teaching the dank. It started out to be, the original ones were just like a radio show, him kind of just sitting there talking cannabis news with a little bit of music playing, and things started to build and steamroll. And then things were able to where we could go live, or he would go live. And as you probably can relate to, as and I've alluded to, cannabis at one point has turned to us, one, if we care to admit it or not, we're cannabis misfits. You know what I mean? Either in life or in cannabis, we're a misfit in the weed nerd world. You know what I mean? And in this case, what Sub did was open a porthole for us. You know what I mean? There's so many of us that here all night long in their gardens doing their thing, and introverted, not being able to talk to anybody. There's there's quite the time where you couldn't tell people you were doing this. You didn't show your faces. We're in the forums back then. If you showed a face or a picture, you were lucky, scared to death. And if you did, your face was covered, face, completely, hat, sunglasses. You can find it in me, motherfucker. And then you know what I mean? And so a lot of us wanted to reach out and talk to fucking people. It's human nature to want to talk to people, but we're forced into our grow rooms and fucking forced to be introverts. Either because we use a plant, we're growing plant, whatever. And Sub opened up this porthole to where we had already had a common bond. We liked the dude, we liked the genetics. And through that, we made friends, a lot of fucking cool people come hang out. And I kind of relate Sub to being like the Hunter S. Thompson of cannabis. That fucker come on at any time. We come running, day, night, whatever. Loved hanging out with the dude, but moreover, it gave us a porthole to our friends. You know what I mean? And it was an amazing thing, and it seemed to grow and grow and grow as we became deeper and deeper friends, and we came to love Sub the character. And as I grew to know him behind the scenes as a friend, awesome dude, two different people, you know what I mean? On air, off air, two different people. Off air was just an incredible person, as the persona you've seen on air, just flip flop, bipolar almost. You know what I mean? Same energy, a little bipolar. But so we things happen, life happened. Their divorce kind of split the weed nerds a little bit, but still stood strong. Fire, him facing diversity a little bit, losing everything he had and rebuilding was super cool to watch, be a part of. And then, we lost him, almost 2 years ago now. We're working on 3. And man, that for me was oof, crushing, crushing. Sitting into a room, even now, it's somewhat tore down now because life, making that move, whatever, tearing it down, sitting in this room as after he died, man, was I almost hung it up, man. I'd been a seed tester for him for a long time, and just to be surrounded by, not that porthole not being there anymore. The fucking porthole wasn't there anymore for a lot of us. You know what I mean? It was fucking done. Everything was done. And it was super tough to deal with. And then per happen chance, one road left to another, one show, I ended one thing and it ended up being this. And the weed nerds followed followed here. And them were undoubtedly some of my first polls where people in the weed nerd would not like the people that I had was blessed to be able to meet through sub. Sub opened up a shitload of doors for me. We talk about, seeds and throwing out them the whole seed endeavor there. And I agree with you about the pollen suckers. We can go on all another that's we can go on about that. But that was an awesome experience for me. Like I said, the cannabis had taken me down so many roads prior to this. Growing, being a caregiver was super, like I said, meeting those the patients, you know what I mean? It was super incredible. But when I had the opportunity to be bigger part of Sub's team and be a Michigan representative and throw just a lot of love, Sub's love everywhere was cool. I was be able to meet these people that were in super need, you know what I mean? That we talked about earlier that really needed the medicine, want to start making their own clean medicine, strain dependent on stuff they found that worked for them. And just the ability of just be able to walk up and give people seeds. Wow. You know what I mean? You ever give somebody cannabis free of charge or seeds to look on your face? It's better you get more gratitude out of that than you could hand them $100 bill. $100 bill, they'd go, that's cool, thank you. But man, them seeds, are gonna go a long ways. You know what I mean? There's gonna be gratitude for a long time for that. And so Sub gave me opened up a lot of things, and thank goodness for the weed nerds following along and helping me through this journey. They're the ones that make this thing strong. So the weed nerd worlds are the 0.5s. So basically in between these episodes, they're only open to the past guests. So you have to be a guest to be invited into the weed nerd world. And so yeah. So now the Weed Nerd Worlds are Monday nights, a guaranteed Weed Nerd World, 2 a.m. And the other ones are fillers. You know what I mean? I told you, 11:30 to 4:20. So if the guest falls short, at any point, I'm grateful for anything. Just get the ball started. If it's 10 minutes, half hour, whatever, so whenever the guest is through, if they don't take me the full distance, then I'll take a little break and open up the weed nerd world and let the community kind of finish off the night and hang out. And so, it's a strong thing. People check in nightly from, Australia, Germany, UK, Canada, all across the United States. There's weed nerds that are everywhere that are passionate about what they do and why they do it. And it's an awesome thing. And I'm only I hope I'm only living up to what someone do and what his vision was when he started the whole weed nerd world. But I'm grateful for sure to being a part of it in the beginning. And I'm super grateful to be a part of it now. So that's kind of so you put them all together, there could be a 0.5 in between any of those episodes. So 665 tonight, that could double as far as episodes go on my channel, as far as just kind of this sort of thing. And then there's shows before them, how to's and hash making stuff that predates a lot of this. That one goes back, a little ways, but this has been the main project for a long time. And, this is currently where my heart's at. As we talk about, as we step up, man, we see Michigan try to squeeze us out in our dreams of helping people every day, man. It gets harder and harder to keep doing what we're doing. And I'm just hoping that, as it gets harder for me to keep doing what I'm doing, that I can still stay viable to the cannabis community in this aspect until I can figure out my next phase of my cannabis dream, to be honest.
Well, I'm glad I asked. That was a bit of a history lesson, my friend. I'm I had no idea. And when you speak of the subcool, it's obvious the emotions that you hold in for this man and legend of the cannabis community and a pioneer. It sounds like so many others that we don't know about, and many of the ones we do, um, like Jack. And I only make mention of that because that's one of the more prominent names, from his book. And but what you say, so Subcool was from California, was he?
Uh, He started in Georgia. Georgia's his origination, but had been all over in his growing journey from Amsterdam to Canada to Wisconsin, spent some time in Oregon, lived in California for quite some time. And then after fire took out his house while he was in Cali, burned a good his gardens, most of the parents he had, and then pretty much fire chased him to Arizona. And Arizona is unfortunately where he hung his hat. That's why I was saying.
In Arizona just recently became legal medically or recreationally?
Oh, I know for sure that it was a medical thing why he was there, because he was pulling patient cards.
Got you.
Another fun journey of his was he bought a house with an indoor swimming pool, and he had alpha 1, which is a breathing disease. And it was tough for him. He found problems with all the moisture, the humidity in the air. So he drained the pool and fucking grew weed in it.
Classic. Classic.
Yeah.
No, Michael spoke of him today because after we had our conversation about the upcoming ventures, I asked him about you and being on the show. Asked him for more background. I said I didn't have time to do my homework. Who, like, eh, I wanted to be respectful to you. Obviously, I saw how your followers and how many episodes you've been doing, and so, yeah. So I wanted to know who I was dealing with to prepare myself as much as possible. Um, like I made my chicken scratch notes a couple days ago. Um, but I wanted to pay some respect to you, my friend, what you're doing here every day for 3 years, or, every day for the year or two, every day. I mean, that's quite the commitment. And you do something that long, and whether it's 4 followers or 400 followers or more, you've now made a commitment to your follower base, right? Like you are feeling the emotions of what you were a part of with the subcool, and back then it was forums, right? Like you guys, the forum community, the underground, I miss all that. I can't speak on that. I was not one of them. I was getting it from you guys, no doubt. Thank you. But I was not willing to risk, with family, children, and it's not for me to play nefariously like that, especially in old country and that. And here options are limited with problems like that. But anyhow, it's so I appreciate the fact that your caregivers did that, but I appreciate you more for building a community, a platform here. And I must say, because you see, there's lots of equipment here that my cousin has acquired, but you still have to operate it. You still have to do it, commit to it, and be disciplined to do it. And that was part of the reason the podcast is not up since the COVID of coming here and the lockdowns and building this all, is because it is a commitment. And unless you're willing to do it consistently, for something like this, what you're doing, you have to commit to it, and you have to do it at least one season, right? 12 episodes or more. But for what you're doing, you're giving a platform for people to come on to talk about what their interests are, happenings in the cannabis industry or with the plant, um, or just everything. That's a wonderful platform, and opportunity for someone like me that's new to the scene, didn't know you really. I mean, now I recognize you from Mendo and the Mint, and I knew you were plugged into the cool kids because you were hanging out with them, and the Bergs and those guys, right? So and I was quite shy. I don't know, because I got this beard and and anyhow, running around doing my thing. People don't know me yet, so I don't know. Anyhow, but what you're doing, I'm admire. I admire and I envy you, and I give you big applause, cousin.
Well,
It's
this
quite
has been a good meeting, my friend. Again, man, I look forward to supporting your efforts, and my vision to what I'm doing here is most definitely way bigger than I let on. Because sometimes, as you become a creator, you become very tight-lipped of some of the projects you're working on, because it always sucks to see somebody beat you to that finish line. So, but I do have a lot of projects in mind, and hopefully we can work together on some of them here in the future. Because like I said, the cannabis journey, this is much bigger than I have let on. Some of them that just followed along in the 3 years, they know what the aim is, but it's something much bigger than this, and it's going to take much more people than me to make the dream come true. And hopefully, you can follow along and be a part of it as well in some aspects in the future. Because, like I said, I really want to do this to spotlight and help other people out, man. There's no animosity or hate for people that step over me. You know what I mean? I'm very much appreciative of the open sourceness that is going on these days. You know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody jumping over or whatever. You know what I mean? And you just got to respect what they're doing and the angles that they take and all that good stuff. So, uh, but yeah,
there's
I'm extending an olive branch, my friend.
I will grab onto it, cousin, um, and um, and 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 hold on tight, um, because I know what you're alluding to. There's plenty of people trying to do. Well, that's what I'm saying. You're doing it. You're doing it. You're doing your thing, and nobody's going to do what you do. You're you, and what you're doing there is you. And then where you take it from now and evolve it to or elevate it to will be you too, and 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 we will all follow you there as well. And what I'm doing is me, and what I'm doing is different than you. It's different. So you could have the same guest, and I could have the same guest. I would love to have the Mendo boys on. I'm going I'm going to be different. I'm going to be me. Maybe we talk about something, maybe I ramble on and bring up something completely that you wouldn't, right? So it's just different. And if anything, we should be building each other up, especially as fledgling creators here, speaking of myself, cousin, um, and help build that up, and each other's brands, and in the end is pass it along. It's like puff puff pass, is it not? Right? So Like, yeah, if there's ways we can help or if there's content or anything, yeah, absolutely. I don't know, I hope you have big plans, cousin, because I do too. And and that's who I want to be aligned with, like the Michael Fangs, and there's some other people, the Leaf Cycle, I believe the more Ganja 5. I like what these people, I believe in their causes, and I like to align with doers, and you're doing it. And so even if someone comes along like me and tries to do it, he's doing it, but good luck doing it. You got to do it. 3 years, that's something. I'm scared. I'm scared of commitment now. Anyhow, yeah, so props to you for the longevity that you have here. And yes, we should all thank you for giving another platform. And it looks like you have filled a bit of a space or void of the subcool. Big shout out to the cousin subcool. If you're looking down upon us, cousin, your cousin Nikolai pays big homage and respect to you and is happy has heard the story of you today. I did not know of you, my friend. And I talked to you because, and I will go back to this and maybe we'll wrap the show up here because my tummy is getting quite hungry and I must try to attempt some content before going to sleep. So, but I wanted to go back to the universal frequencies and the harmonies of the world. And that will take us right back to the Nikola Tesla, right? And you speak of the crystals. And I believe that the powers that the crystals have, being whatever mineral base or hardnesses or just the type of chemical structure, in the periodical tables, whatever those particular elements are in that probably pick up different vibrational frequencies, right? Just like opera singer can sing and hit frequencies that will shatter a glass. These are harmonic frequencies, are they not? But so I believe that these frequencies may be instilled, how do you say, or just in my, I'm just, speaking just hypothetical, I don't know, ethereal, just I'm just contemplating, and in my opinion, or the way I view it is like, the energy is in these crystals, and depending on what type of crystals, they resonate at different frequencies, and they give off different frequencies of energy, as you know, that everything begins with a thought, right? It begins with a thought, right? And that thought is very powerful, right? The idea of something, whether you're building something, a bridge, like take these modern day marvels that man has built and skyscraper, like how did somebody even contemplate it? And then how did they actually engineer it, right? And the bolts and the different jigsaw puzzles. It's hard enough to build Legos. And but these are thoughts and ideas and then actions upon that, right? It's energy. That thought is a chemical or electrical, whatever, the impulses of the body, the brain, that's energy. There's energy. We can agree upon that, right? And then so the different frequencies. So us as human beings are operating at different frequencies as well. Different vibe, as you say, different vibrational levels. Your cousin Nikolai has a bit of the high anxiety. I am operating at optimal free. I don't know about poor choice of words. I am operating at high frequencies, very high string, high strung, like individual. It takes cannabis to help bring me down in frequencies. So therefore, as you know, what you put into your body, you either take care of it, nourish it, or you pollute it. Same with cannabis. You grow the cannabis, poor conditions, you get poor plant. Yeah, as many may know, the cannabis is quite good at cleaning the soil, taking the decontaminating, right? It takes everything out of it. So it's important that you have a good environment for your cannabis, not only at the root level, but the outdoor environment, right? So, and then so I believe putting crystals, and I believe music, I believe the wind, and the sound of the wind is a frequency. It makes you feel a certain day. The rain, the sound of the rain makes you feel a certain way. These are all vibrational frequencies. So yes, I believe there's truth to the crystals. I do believe there is truth to a lot of these things that the metaphysics speak to, and the philosophers, and there's a lot of lost education amongst us, right? Over the time, there's a lot of things that people are discovering these days and enlightening their minds. So I will leave us with that expansive thought. But yes, hopefully
I
tonight, go ahead, jump in.
I was gonna say I can dig it. We're more alike than you know, because I've spoken a lot of the frequency as well. I hope you come. I hope you join in the weed nerd world quite often, a little bit more. You're more than welcome. I guess since you gotta go, I guess this is where I
No,
take over a little
well, you
bit
don't have to
here.
cut me off, but
So
yeah, go ahead. But I'm just saying, yeah, tell me more about the wheat. So that means, real quick, the weed nerd means I get to come back on and be a 0.5. So then I'd be truly weed nerd nation or whatever, right?
yeah, yes, sir. So basically, the Zoom link that I sent you this evening is always good. Always good. Anytime you see a weed nerd world, you don't need an invitation. It's pop on, come on, talk about what we're talking about, change the subject, just hang out and smoke. We don't give a shit. We're weed nerds. Sometimes we're talking about cannabis techniques. We might be showing our gardens off. We might be talking mushrooms. Might be talking conspiracy on mushrooms. Hell, you don't know what you're gonna get into when you click that link. But I can guarantee this, it will be fun. So anytime that you do see a We Nerd World in the title, and you're bored, you're up, click that link. Come have some fun with us. Bring some new topics or some perspectives. We don't care. Agree with us, don't agree with us. That's the beauty of this. And we love about the perspectives. We should be able to have our own perspective outlook. Smoke this, you know what I mean? We just like any other slash and take it in, go, yeah, you're crazy, put that doob out, go home, come back, and start over. You know what
Right,
I mean? Because
right.
it's all in fun, you know, and we should respect each other. So anytime you see a Weed Nerd World in, you're more than welcome, and we would love to have you. Click that link. And the other thing I'd like to get from you before I go, you asked me earlier, do I record this? This is the part that I record. So at this point, what I'm looking for is the old a radio shout out or the sound bite. Basically, you remember on the old 70s, say this is whoever, and I'm on K-Rock. That's what I'm looking for. My version of what I'm looking for from you, my friend, is, hey, this is Eagle, not mine. Fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 665. You put whatever you want before or after that. Come check me out, whatever. I don't care as long as that's in your soundbite. At some point, I will use this for an episode. I like to drag them back. It's a reminder. You know what I mean? When I air them, they're like, "Oh yeah, that guy. I gotta go check out that episode." So that's what I'm looking for here. Is basically an old school shout out commercial/commercial.
I love it. I'm up to task. So just so I'm clear, it's so the proper show name would be Talking Shit with the Eagle, or say it for me.
Fucking talk. Please don't forget the fucking part
Yeah,
about
right.
it.
Fucking sorry. Fucking talking shit. Right. It's a fucking talking shit with what? Again.
With Eagle. Yeah.
With Eagle.
Fucking
Okay.
talking
And
shit.
and you're
Yeah.
and so you also on the gram, what's the grow part? Tell me, like, Eagle growing. You have
The
something called Eagle
Eagle
growing.
Gardens one is,
That's it.
yeah,
Eagle
you can find
Gardens
me in
one.
a,
Okay.
yeah, Eagle Gardens one is my grow part of the,
Okay.
personal grow, and somewhat I think that goes back like 5 years. It's been the bitch about forums and shit like that, man. You put so much time and love into them. And back then, man, they would get shot down like, whack-a-moles. You'd meet some friends, then they'd be suddenly gone. You know what I mean? Forum gone,
Really?
you
What were
know,
some of the names of these
network
forums?
error.
What were some of the
Fuck,
names of the
tons of
forums?
them.
Spit out a
Dank
couple.
Den was Mass Roots, fucking Overgrow. There's tons of them
So what would
from back
happen to
in the
them? Like
day.
they'd be popular and what? They'd just get taken down by the cyber police?
Yeah, a few of them would get taken down by government. Some people would get, just worried. A lot of
Right.
it was just people like ourselves that, started shit like this and had to cover server costs and shit on their own. And, for one reason or another, decided to wrap it up and information lost, friends gone. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
so many
that's
reasons,
that. It's
right? That's it.
now you got me rambling.
No, no, it's okay. It's interesting. I wanted, and so last thing I want to ask about, and because I want have some is you when we were talking about subcool, you said TGA. What does that stand for? Who's that? Is that
The
another?
Green Avengers.
Okay, so
Green
who are they?
Avengers.
What was that, real quick?
They were the initial greeter group, the ones that started
Okay,
TGA. They were Dioxide, Miss Jill, Sonny Chiba,
okay, that's
Sub,
what. Yeah, Fang was talking about that earlier. Okay, so this was the you said it was
Joel from North Sun.
the green what? The green.
The Green Avengers.
That's it. Green Avengers. Avengers. Okay. And then you said something. Who? Miss who?
Miss Jill was Sub's wife
Okay,
and
that's right. Okay, yeah.
half
I'm
of
just trying
TGA.
to.
She actually still owns the name TGA. She's still a breeder. She's still
Oh,
up
is
and
she?
running and still runs some of the TGA stuff. When they had the divorce, they kind of split up,
Hmm.
what the menu, what was being put out. She still runs some of her creations and some of the other stuff they produced early on, but and
S-
putting forth her own stuff.
Okay. So is it like is it bad amongst the community to go buy her seeds because she had divorced from the love subcool? Is there a whole group of haters out there that if all of a sudden like somebody, like, oh, you shouldn't have did that because she did him wrong,
At one point, yeah, that was almost fighting words, I think,
Sure,
at
I would
one point.
imagine
But these
during
days, since the passing, and
it's like,
that was one of the things that kind of was a bummer is, after his passing, a lot of the amends were made. You know what I mean? The whole weed nerd world came full circle. You know what I mean? There was a lot of mending in his passing that should have come prior. You know what I mean?
right.
Life's very humbling. Shit you do when you're young is fucking can be stupid and whatnot. But in the end, in the passing, you realize, fuck, I
We're
can't
all
say
just
goodbye.
people, a
You know
short
what I
hair of
mean?
time, my friend. We're all fragile souls. We really are. And yeah, in the end, you take none of this shit with you but a memory. But anyhow, I'll get down to your shout out. So again, I am fucking
I am
talking
ready.
shit.
So
So I will I'll get ready to do it properly. I'm just warming up. Wait, okay, so you're gonna record this and you'll take the best version, right?
yes,
Right?
sir.
Okay. So let me get warmed up here and make sure I'm doing the call out right. So this is fucking talking shit with the Eagle, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have seen some incredible people do 5 or 6 takes.
Yeah,
Danny
right.
Danko, I
Well,
think, did like
so
5 in a row.
no, that's fine. So as I do, so what else do you want me to so you want me to say so like this is cousin Nikolai, I'm fucking here fucking talking shit with the Eagle. And then there was something else you wanted me to say, like make
You
sure
want to
to
put your episode number in there, 665.
well, okay, these
And
do so would I say welcome to the show, or would I say tune into the show, or had they already seen the show, or you just watched the show, or like this was the show? Like, is this past tense?
you were on episode, yeah, it's definitely past text.
Okay, so
This
this is
is
cousin Nikolai
it might
just got done doing, the episode 665, fucking talking with something like that, right?
yeah.
All right.
Check it
No,
out. And then if you want, you can lead that right into, you can find me on Instagram, blah, 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 blah. You can put plugs in there. I don't care what the fuck you put in there,
right. Okay.
before or after, as long as you put me in there somewhere, then you episode, I'm cool. That's
No, I get it. All right. guys. All right, guys. Here we go. Get ready. Hold on. Can I? All right. So here we go. Let me give you. All right, guys. Let me give you. This is cousin Nikolai. Let me give you my intro song. You guys ready? This is my band. Ready? This is my band, Tracksuit Mafia, Polka Techno, latest greatest. You like? Of course you do. It's good. Hi, my name's cousin Nikolai, your cannabis cousin. I just got done fucking talking shit with the Eagle on episode 665, where we talk some shit and get to know each other. All about the cannabis plant, my friends. That's right. You like music? It's my band, Tracksuit Mafia, Polka Techno, latest greatest. Anyhow, guys, I had real good time with our cannabis cousin, the Eagle, learning all about the latest, greatest things here. And I want you to know to be sure to tune into the next episodes, because I'm sure our cannabis cousin is going to have the most excellent guest after your cousin Nikolai, of course. Anyhow, if you like what your cousin Nikolai is doing here on the Eagle, fucking talking shit with the Eagle, then please check me out on the gram, where you can find me doing some things of my own. That's right. I'm cousin Nikolai, your cannabis cousin, on the gram and on YouTube. Anyhow, as always, if you like what cousin Nikolai is doing, please give big thumbs up, leave comment below. Let me know you're out there. All right, guys, bye for now. How was that? You like?
Chat says best one yet.
Thank you. Good. All right. I hope it was good. I hope you can cut that up, because I like to sometimes stammer over myself and then correct it. And then I just do a hard cut. And I don't care if it jumps around, but that's up to you. It's your style of editing. But hopefully you'll get something good out of that, cousin.
Oh, I'm sure I will. And thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to speak with you a little bit more. And in person at one of these events on here. Whenever,
hit me
my
up
friend.
tomorrow,
Feel free to
cousin.
hit me up.
Yeah, hit me up tomorrow. Call me up at a private. I'll give you my phone number. Hit me up when you want to chat. We'll talk more. Maybe you have some ideas you want to share with me, and we'll build upon that creatively. Whatever you want.
Right on.
But yeah, let's open up the dialogue off camera, as they say.
Right on, right on. I greatly appreciate that. With that being said, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode as much as I have. Hopefully you guys will enjoy me here in a few in the Weed Nerd world. So we walk it down to the 420 mark. You guys know the deal. If not, if you're not going to tune into the Weed Nerd world, remember to do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. Thank you again, cousin Nikolai. It was an awesome meet. Random acts of kindness and random pass of kindness. This has been a good meet. You have a good day, my friend.